Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me okay? Let me check. Thanks for the mic check, Lee. I think. Can you let me know in the chat if you can hear me okay? It looks like StreamYards is acting a whole fool with telling me. Okay, it says live. I hate the delay between StreamYards and YouTube. And yes, I know I have wonderful dark circles. It's just who I is. For the record, can you hear me okay? Okay, thank you. I appreciate that very much. Hey, JBT. How are you? Y'all, we got some stuff to talk about. It's been a while. I've been a panel whore. I've been panel hopping, having myself a wonderful, great old time. But I really have been paying attention to a lot of stuff. So we'll say hello. I have a plan that I'm going to talk to you about. And then I think an honest conversation about some really ugly stuff. So hold tight, hold with me. Hey, Peachy. Good to see you. Peachy was first. I come with sound effects, don't forget. Hey, Guardian Angel, good to see you. I appreciate you very much. Hey, Doohickey, thank you. I appreciate you. Dis the illusion. Haven, beautiful bougie lady. Love seeing you guys too. Hey, Rap, how are you? Thank you, Rap. I try to be. Sometimes, sometimes I think we all have our limits, right? We all have our moments of ugly. Some of us are judged a little harsher than others, but hey, thank you. I appreciate that. Hey, No Fear. Hey, Nicolina. I was watching your live earlier, and I have to go back and finish that. Trying to get caught up on everything. Hey, Lily Rochelle. There you are. Let me make sure. I need to. Yep. Okay. You got the wrench already. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate your help. I try to have a couple of people who I've gotten to know from each community wrenched. And then I have a list of who to toss. But just so I know I say this all the time, but just so there's no question. I don't like for it to feel like we have a crew, like a club. I can remember being new to communities and here, because there's so many different communities, I like that people feel welcome to chat. It's not intimidating for them. So that's the wrench thing over here. But thank you for being here. Hey, Devious, you want some of this? Devious likes my sound effects, whether the rest of you don't or not. You clean the pets' homes. Good luck with that. We'll be here for a while. Y'all get your popcorn, get your drinks. It's been a while. Hey, Alta, how are you? Hello, Unseen. Good to see you. Hey, Holly Dally. We were chatting over at AB's earlier, who, by the way, is covering a lot of the Palestine / yeah, he's talking about the war. I've been getting all my content from over there. Hey, Lenny. Good to see you. Hello, Miss Sin. Hey, Chris, Stars, Mazikeen. Kennedy. I always like seeing you. Mystery Sky. JBT is one of my favorite humans. Magpie. Good to see you. We support the porch. I like that. Free the tatas. I know what that's about too. I'm getting caught up on that too. Hell yeah. Free the nips, right? Is that what everybody's running around saying? Hey, Archangel, how are you? Lee Marie, thank you for being here. I appreciate everybody. Bell, where have you guys been hanging out at? I've been a little bit of everywhere and lurking, chatting in some places. Have you guys been feeling like the shit show is just coming to town? Because I sure do. Hey, more Truth for the Missing review. Cool Gamer. Tink Sugar Skulls. Hey, Sweet Tea. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Mother of 2 boys, you as well. Appreciate you being here. Fancy was my name. Broho is in the house. Hey, Lenny. Messy Jessie. I see some new names. Hey, Shine. How are you? Georgette. A new sub. Hello, Georgette. Welcome. Hope you find something positive here. Hey, Quiz. Always good to see you. Chris. Good to see you. Diamond Cutter. I love that you hang out. I need to make sure that I'm subscribed to your channel. I went the other day. Do you guys know YouTube is playing around with subscriptions again? You have to, if you have more than I think 20 or maybe 30 subscriptions that you have the bell to, you might want to make a routine habit of going in and unsubscribing and resubscribing, because YouTube is unsubscribing people. Just an FYI. Hello, O Lady O. But it's great to have you, Diamond Cut. I appreciate you. Hey, Annabella. I hope you're doing good. I miss seeing you too. Gemini Mama. Lisa, thank you. Lisa, I made it home just in time. Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody been feeling? Is anybody stressed out and feeling a little like afraid to chat in some places, afraid to go some places, kind of confused on what the hell's been going on lately? Anybody else feeling that way? Hey, not so dumb blonde. Mama of 2 girls. Appreciate you guys being here. J. Marie, Sweet Tea, Anissa. Hi, Anissa. I hope that you're doing okay today. I know last night was rough, and I want to talk about that a little bit. Not you, but how wrong some of this stuff is. It took all day to think about it, made some notes, dug into some books, found some research, and as a whole, from an entire community, there's not an apology that can make up for the harm that's been done. And I wish that there were. I truly wish that there were. You and traders both. I'm quite disgusted, but we're going to talk about it. Hey, Stars. Good to see you. Carol. Nice to see you. Sarah. I never got an email from you. I will have Lee Marie send it to you. I don't have my email on the about section anymore because I'd like to be able to know who's asking for it, because, there's some weirdos. But I've been looking for it. So if I know Lee's here, can you send her the 2 email if you don't mind? I appreciate it very much. So we can get in touch and go from there. But thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Hey, traders. Same thing I just said to Anissa. Words, man. Words are hard whenever I'm aggravated or upset or disgusted with other people's YouTube actions. Hey, Ghost. Good to see you. Gran of 2. Chris, Georgia. Let's see. If I missed anybody, listen, it's not intentional. I promise. Hey, Quiz. It's not. But I want to get into some stuff. It's been a while since I've been live. It's been a while. Gotcha, Sarah. We'll be here whenever you get finished. I'm not going to try to keep you too long. Hey, Baton Rouge. Good to see you. Hope you're doing good. Nickeliner. Nickeliner. Does it sound right? Nickeliner. Hey, Tinks. I'm fabulous. I hope that you're good. Tink My Bell 2.0. Hey, everybody. Hey, Ewok. Good to see you. I'm glad that you're here. Ms. Meow. Catching alive. Hey, from the US back to UK. Lots of hugs and loves to you too. Thanks for hanging out with us. Michelle E. Hello. Did I miss anybody? Because I always hate feeling like I do. And 6 Up always gets on to me like, it takes forever to say your hellos. I know. Let's see. I just don't want anyone to not feel welcomed. We support the porch. That's right. We support the porch. Absolutely. She's just gotten to a point of like disgust. I don't know what's going on with her. I don't know what happened to her. I don't know what she intends to get. But when we talk about intentions later, that's another person that we can kind of apply the conversation to what they're doing. And hopefully it makes some sense. Really, hopefully it makes some sense. Devious, it's good to see you. So, the first thing that I want to talk to you about, it's kind of important, and I know a lot of people kind of pop in, pop out. It's recently been brought up that we don't talk about grief that much. Like, hello, what are you talking about? We talk about grief all the time, every day. You can't run from it. It's part of your everyday life. There's no pause button. You can't take a break from it. You don't get a rewind. Who is Susan? And why is she doing a live stream talking about people don't talk about grief, or they do? Listen, Susan, we talk about what we want to talk about, Susan. I don't come over there to your little space and tell you what to do. So don't come over here to my tiny little space and tell me what to do. If you don't want to be here, please don't be here. But there's a reason that you don't hear a lot of open conversation about grief, because this platform is nasty. And we've been learning over the last several months, but especially yesterday, A very important lesson came to light. I'm going to share some of it with you because I want you to get the full conversation. I want you to brace it. I want you to wear it. I want you, for the first time, to really try to put yourself in other people's shoes. Listen to what was said and done in regards to their loss and their grief, and know that it can happen to you too. I'm not trying to make you wear somebody else's skin or emotionally manipulate none of that shit. There's a lot of this stuff that's going on. We talk about it over here. I talk about it anywhere I want to. I'll talk about it all day if I want to. People don't have to listen. But should we have to ask permission? No. Should we have to filter our reactions or our opinions or how we feel about our grief? No. No. It's simple when we're adults. If you don't like what someone is saying, you can leave the room. It's even better on the internet because you just hit the box and just leave. There's no forcing everyone's opinions onto who you think should think or feel the way that you want to. And I have some examples of that. So it's going to be rough, be a little bit of drama, a whole lot of reality, real life shit, and some of the ugly stuff that people don't want to face or acknowledge. And for all those that are like, check out my name. Let me drop this. Look at my name. If you want to call me Miss Goody Two Shoes, I'm here for it. I don't care what you call me. I really don't. The Unhinged Committee of the Goody Two Shoes. I'm going to wear that for a while because I don't care what you think. I don't care. But we have to set some standards. We have to talk about what we're willing to accept and what we're not. We have to think about when somebody reaches a hard limit, crosses a path, hurts to the point of you're not going to be able to forgive that. How do we handle that? What do we do with it? What's appropriate? What's not? I think that it's time to have an open conversation. I want to go over some things and then I'll drop a link. And opinions are definitely appreciated. Hey, Half Pint, good to see you. Heather, thanks for popping in. If I missed anybody, I'm very sorry. I didn't, it's not with intention, I promise. Take my no fear. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Sweet Tea, Catlin, good to see you. We Frosty Ewok. I know it's you. I know it's you with the Ewok, right? Let me make sure. Yeah, I know it's you. Just a trash can. I think I ran into your channel. Did you tag me in something recently? Kimmy Love, hello. Hey Tara, good to see you. All right. Does anybody have any questions or anything? If you can hang it out with me, I'm going to hang it out with you. Commander, where did Commander go? I just saw you. Don't forget, I change up wrenches all the time. Please don't be upset. If you have one, if you don't have one, send me an email. We can talk about it. Hey, KK, good to see you. Jennifer P. All right. So first thing I'm going to start with is the whole grief thing. So instead of this idiot sitting over there, I don't know, seeming half-cocked, talking about grief this, grief that, and who we talk about when it comes to grief and what we can talk about and when we can talk about it, like, shut up, Susan. Just shut up. You wouldn't fit in over here anyway. Clearly, you've never gone through anything traumatic and terrible and heartbreaking, and you've never suffered greatly. And you've never had the feeling like an entire community and all the people that you've ever loved and trusted or cared about, or anybody that's ever cared about you, your inner circle, your friends, your family, just walked away from you because suddenly your whole world was rocked. I know you're the victim, right? This whole victim thing. So clearly your mind is made up. And whatever we talk about over here is going to serve you of no purpose. And I'm not going to seek you out and try to actually entertain conversation. Your mind is made up and I'm okay with that. I like people who can have conversations and hear other people's opinions and actually be like adults. So stay over there, Susan. I'm not chasing you. Don't come over here chasing me. We'll agree to disagree and coexist. I'm down for that. I think that's a great idea. But hey, your opinions were duly noted. I still think you're an idiot. You don't make much sense. Get some help. Do something. Talk to some friends. But I'm glad that you're over there. That's that. That comes from the Jerks. Could somebody drop the channel link for the Jerks, please? I caught a replay and I thought, who is this lady? talking about how we talk about grief. Susan, no one's immune. Nobody. Everybody is going to experience grief and loss at some point or another. Some of us just like to have a system of support, a place of support where we can all get together and kind of do our thing. Hey, your boy, Roy, how are you? Good to see you. Freckle Face, I see some new names. Commander. Okay. So I'm going to pull up the first thing we're going to do is the grief stream. So I found a way. So, we've got a lot of people running around just talking a whole lot about other people's traumas and their losses and things that they've gone through. There's always, people that like to use it for nefarious reasons. Again, we have an example of that. I'm going to show you here in a little bit. So the way for us to be able to talk about grief without the fear of people like Connie, like Constant Stew, or Jenna, or Purple, or some of the other trash bags, grabbing hold of it and writing it all down and recording it and sticking it in a file. The way that I've come up with to be able to do that would be having private streams. So I've talked to managing moderators and some of the moderators that I've had the time to actually, send a link and have conversation with. I just need to know how you guys feel about it. The holiday seasons are coming up. We have Halloween right around the corner, then Thanksgiving, and then Christmas. And this is the time of year that most of us that are dealing with child loss grief, we start feeling the holidays seeping in. So when you start to walk in the grocery stores and really any store and you see the Christmas decor come out and the Christmas trees, you start to feel it. It catches your breath. You kind of have to sit down and take a deep breath and really, sometimes it's hard to get through. And so rather than put all that on Front Street, because of those trauma vultures that are hanging around, the ones that just can't wait to hear about your most painful moments just to exploit later at their convenience. I think I found a way we can do private streams. Those who participate in the stream. So if you want to come up and talk or like an email route or something like that, you can keep the link. You can go back and review it. Understanding that anytime there's a link shared, even if you're with your closest friend, there's always the possibility that that link can end up somewhere where you may not be comfortable with it being. That said, I think that's the safest way to talk about the difficult things without, all these trauma vultures just running around doing their damnedest to find more people that they think are weak. Don't forget the grifters are coming out in full force now too. So does that sound okay with everybody? Life with mom, any kind of grief. Grief is grief. I find that with child loss, there's a lot of things that make the grief very differently. But grief is grief. And so it doesn't have to be child loss, any grief at all. And let me be clear, I'm not a professional in any capacity. We learn from each other, shared experiences. What's worked for one person may or may not work for another, but having a place to really talk about things that suck and know that no matter what you're feeling or what you're thinking, you can give it a voice and no one's going to judge you. No one's going to tell you you're crazy. No one's going to call law enforcement. It's a place to be able to speak and feel heard and know that the people that you're talking to are also going through similar experiences. And that's, like I said, any kind of grief. So if anyone is up for that, I think the way that we'll start those, which we can do tomorrow, I'm on the East Coast, so I have East Coast time. And devious, that's a good point. There's a lot of people that have close friends or family members that have lost close family members. And so they get a lot from the conversations because they're a supportive role. It's awkward to talk about really hard things like grief and loss and death because we're conditioned not to. I'm understanding that even social media, people are conditioned not to. They would rather not have. They would rather not have the sad come around, and it's doing a lot of harm to people that are going through some really bad shit. really bad shit. There's nothing wrong with supporting each other. So that's how we get through it. We face it head on. And if you don't face it head on, then you're sitting stagnant in it, hence the unstuck. So if you're a supportive role, you might get something out of it. And you're also someone that's important to the conversations because we like to bounce things off of you. One, the people in the group that don't know you personally will probably be more comfortable asking you questions that they feel like their family or their friends who are grieving may be a little maybe offended or not comfortable with. So both sides are extremely important. I think I'm going to do the first one tomorrow. Wait. Thursday. Let's go Thursday. I have an appointment tomorrow. So we can do Thursday. You have it there, Commander. Do you see it? Hey, Vinny G. How are you, sweetie? I hope you're doing good. I haven't seen you in forever. Everybody loves Vinny G. I love Vinny G. Yep, there we go. Gotcha. So we'll start with Thursday. I'm on the East Coast. Can do later in the day. Let's see. So Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It'll be a private, so you will not find it on the YouTube. You'll have to have a link in order to come into the chat or to even view. So if you're interested in that, I'm going to drop the second email in the chat that I have just for these. Hey, KB. Hey, Angel Talks Too Fast. How are you? It's good to see you. Vilomah.2 at proton.me. If you're interested in a private, solely focused on grief, no drama, just grief, difficult things, talking about kind of easing into holiday seasons, family events, things like that, kids coming home from school for a long break, all of those things, we can do that Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I don't know where you are, but right now it's 9:22 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So day after tomorrow. So email me there. And I will be able to send you the link. I'll get it set up and send you the link. Hey, KB. I hope you're doing good, Angel. I caught some of the replay earlier today. And just know I stand with you. Always. I stand with you. I got you. Understand you. And you're always welcome here. And whatever we can do over here to help you, please let me know. Because I don't like seeing what you're going through. It's pretty shitty. Yes, Lee, thank you for that. If you send wanting the link, please email me. Please tell me your YouTube name. I don't want to know your legal name. I don't want to know what your legal name is or your phone number or your address, or I just want to know what your YouTube name is. That way we can make sure that we don't have anybody that's sharing the link with people. We want to keep these private. We want people to be comfortable to be able to talk about things without fear of constant Sue hanging out, looking for the next person that she can talk shit about because somebody in their family passed away. People like Connie who you can't set boundaries with, kind of like that, like her. Yeah, we want to keep those private, and we'll talk more about those on Thursday. But yeah, just let me know. Rap, you're always welcome. Always. I'll have a couple of moderators with me, but they're a lot more informal, open panel. You do not have to be on camera. You do not have to tell anybody your legal name. We don't want to interrogate anybody. We just want to talk and have conversation. She knows no boundaries, traders none. I was so raging mad. And the fact that she doesn't understand why people are so raging mad, even it makes it worse. So she can run around all day for the rest of her life. She can run around saying the dumb shit like, I don't understand. Why is everybody blah, blah, blah? Because you are exactly what you claim to be adamantly against. Connie, you've lost all reason. What you did yesterday was so unforgivable. Community awareness is needed. People need to know that you're not the person that we thought that you were. So all your trolls, pop in, go ahead, say whatever the bullshit you got to say. We're going to have them blocked. When Connie's trolls coming in here doing that shit that they do, just block them. I made it very clear yesterday because I knew Connie was watching. Connie does this weird shit where she goes in one chat and she'll copy and paste name, how long you've been a member, like all the shit that pops up when you copy and paste from someone's chat and take it to another person's chat. So like a comment from here would go to her chat where there's no conversation over there about what we're talking about other than shit stirring and slandering and the bullshit. Makes no sense. It's done for one reason. We got you, Connie. We have you all figured out, Connie. It is so bizarre, sweet tea. And it's gross. And I finally kind of put the pieces of the puzzle together. I thought about this all day. To see people that I've come to really care about in pain, not because they chose to experience loss, not just loss, but a traumatic loss without warning. Nobody called Traders or Anissa and said, can I have permission to destroy your life today? Nobody called Traders or Anissa and said, hey, which one of your siblings can you live without for the rest of your life? It didn't happen. And that loss is so personal and it's not anyone's business, especially Connie's, because Connie asked a question yesterday, or her chat did rather. That ugly, nasty chat over there asked a question. I believe it was Mo, Mo. She said something to the effect of, what's the difference in Nicolina talking about Traders or Anissa's loss versus Connie? Well, here's the difference, dumbass. The difference is that Connie doesn't really care about anything except being right, winning the little war that she has been waging for so long. Connie doesn't care about how anybody feels. She just cares about being right. That's why she has a playlist. A playlist titled something stupid like proof that I don't talk about Traders' family tragedy, but she uses pretty harsh words. Where Nicolina is a friend of theirs. I think Nicolina and Traders are best friends. So do you think that Nicolina feels the same way about Traders' loss that Connie does? Definitely not. There's the difference. But see, when people are just adamant about being right and all they care about is watching other people suffer, you're the devil. We don't want you at our table. We don't want you in our space. We don't want you anywhere around. You serve no purpose for us. You're here to hurt. I went all the way back as far as I could go. I watched a ton of Connie clips. And then I had to take 3 showers. True story. So let me get things queued up here. Queued up. And Jenna, you can still go fuck yourself. There's that. Let me get some stuff queued up. And then we'll just get right into it. We'll get right into why I think Connie is an absolute piece of shit who doesn't deserve any respect. I'm kind of glad to see that she's getting all of that respect. Hey, AB, how are you? I see everybody saying hey to AB. I think he's here. Yep. Okay, so while I get everything queued up, I'm gonna play a little tune for you here. It's my favorite. It's one of my favorites. And let me get everything queued up, get my sweatshirt on, let me get my Mountain Dew open. And be back in 2.5 minutes. Bear with me.
So I heard you're back in town and haven't changed a bit, man. You get off talking down to the little man. Time you get what you deserve. Wow, you're so fucking stupid. Been a while since my head was this polluted. Lucky I know my own word. So you wanna fight me? Are you big enough? Kick the back of my knee. Are you serious? You keep on trying, boy. I like your blood on my teeth, just a little too much. So bite me, slap me around the face. Now little girl bang. Say that again, I didn't quite hear ya. Mess with the wrong bitch in the wrong era. I've been at work and I got my badge up on the. Honey, I've changed so much since I last saw ya. Hands on my head, help every day. You ding ding, hold my earrings for my debut. Cause I like a punch backed into a corner. Come at me, don't tell me I didn't warn ya. Did you think I'd be easy? Snap me like bamboo, hold me into the sole of your jackboot. Wish I could bottle the taste. Cause I drink up that look on your face. So you wanna fight me? Are you big enough? Kick the back of my knee. Are you serious? You keep on trying, boy. I like your blood on my teeth, just a little too much. So bite me, slap me around the face. Now I'm twisting your arm till I hear it break. I get stronger every day. Yeah. Little girl gone, got a gun from a gangster. Run, little girl, bang. Say that again, I didn't quite hear you. Mess with the wrong bitch in the wrong era. I've been at work and I got my badge up on the. Honey, I've changed so much since I last saw ya. Hands in my head, help every day. You ding ding, hold my earrings for my debut. Cause I'm like a punch backed into a corner. Come at me, don't tell me I didn't warn ya. Little girl gone, got a gun from a gangster. Run, little girl, faster. Little girl gone, got a gun from a gangster. Honey, I've changed so much since I last saw ya. Hands in my head, help every day. You ding ding, hold my earrings for my debut. Cause I break a punch backed into a corner. Come at me, don't tell me I didn't warn ya.
Okay, thanks for the little interlude. Needed to get stuff together. So, thanks for hanging in there. I appreciate it. Hey, Half Pint, good to see you. Hey, Tinks. Thanks, Ewok. Ewok turned me on to that song there. Traders, I'm going to use some of your stream from yesterday, if that is okay with you. I did. I put a sweatshirt on. We are freaks. This is Gray Hues merch. This is a Gray Hues We Are Freaks sweatshirt. Love me some Gray Hues. I collect merch and then wear it. Actually wear it. Hey, Salty, how are you? Good to see you. Hey, Daddy's baby girl. I have to see that name. Where'd it go? There it is. Emmy's Meemaw. Awesome. Welcome. So I'm just going to get right to it. And it's not even hard for me to say, hey, Tiny Dancer. I hope you're doing good. Good to see you. So let me go back a couple of years when I came to the true crime, and I don't want to call it true crime anymore. There's very few channels that I think can relate to or that can be considered true crime. I came here. I've told this story. I'm going to keep it kind of brief. Hey, Hippiporium. Hey, Dree. Hello, Kiki's Eyes. I came here after my son passed. I can't tell you how crazy your life changes overnight. Not just that the person that you can't imagine living the rest of your life without is no longer there. And you don't have any options. You don't have any choices. But outlets for feeling human, feeling like you have normal everyday conversations. All of that stuff stops because your family, your friends, you bring the sad. You enter the room and the room gets sad. Nobody knows what to say to you, whether it's your child, whether it's a sibling, whether it's your spouse, whether it's your best friend. Nobody knows what to say because we don't talk about difficult things like grief. We don't discuss it. We shun it. Everybody be quiet. Nobody talk to them. Well, that works for everyone else, but it doesn't work for the person that's grieving. And so then we find ourselves grieving in silence, in isolation, where we no longer socialize. We no longer feel needed. We lose our purpose. Everything changes. For those of us that have one child and that child passes, especially in a tragic way like an accident. Was he riding bikes when we lived in Augusta? I grew up in Augusta. My son was born in Ohio, and he raced all over the country. He was a professional motocross and supercross athlete, and he traveled with the AMA, the American Motocross Association, all over the place. So Muddy Creek, Muddy Creek. So there's several tracks that are like Georgia, Tennessee, a couple in Florida. The AMA is sanctioned. But he lived for motocross, so it's his favorite sport. Thank you, Salty. So when I came to social media, it wasn't really social media. It was true crime because I wanted to relate. Feeling like my whole world had crashed. I didn't feel like the same person in my skin. I didn't recognize myself in the mirror. My voice even sounded very different. Over time, for me, this place, this space, this YouTube, this true crime became a place of hope, hoping to find the missing child safe, unharmed, and just lost. That's kind of how it started out for me. I've talked about the Delphi case, how that was my waking up moment, that I know what my son's last words were. I know what he said. I know the events. I know the details, but there are so many people that don't, that never know. There's some people never find out what happened to their child. They never know. They never get the opportunity to do the best last thing that they can do, a funeral or services. And so with Delphi, it was a whole community that were suffering and not knowing who was responsible for murdering two pre-teenage girls, two very beautiful young ladies. And that was a wake-up call for me that there's something to look forward to, but you have to find it. You have to make the decision. You have to find it. Then come the confusing parts of, is it okay to laugh? What if it's funny? Then I'm going to feel guilty. There's so many aspects to grief, which we can start kind of going down all of that stuff on Thursday. But to come to social media, specifically YouTube, nobody knows what you're going through in your real life. Nobody knows if you're suffering a tragedy. Nobody knows if you're dealing with domestic violence. Nobody knows if you're a rape survivor. Nobody knows anything about you other than what you choose to share. What you choose to share and the parts of your life that you choose to offer to strangers. The intention behind that, generally speaking, is to relate to another group of people or seeking support, understanding other people to understand you. And there's nothing wrong with that. Listen, I'm so tired of this place running around saying things like, don't come to the internet to heal you. Nobody's coming here to be healed. People come here to be related to and to relate to others. People come here to be a part of something bigger than themselves. And true crime is a huge red flag for people that are going through real life things, because feeling like you belong to something or that you're part of something that is much bigger than yourself gives people back purpose. They find themselves fully invested in crimes, and especially when it comes to crimes against children. People want to see justice. They want to understand. They want to see the whole process. They want to belong. But more importantly, feeling like you are a part of something bigger than yourself makes you feel human again. And there's so much more to that, but I don't want to get into that. I want to talk about that it's okay to come here and talk about whatever you're going through with the right people. See, we don't understand that there are people hiding around the corner. They're lurking underneath of the crawl spaces. They're hanging out in the inside of the speakers for people that are really going through real life things for the sole purpose of exploiting it or using it against you. And we don't see them coming. They don't come with a warning label. There's no backup alarm that says, hey, that person's potentially dangerous. So we have to be a little more careful, not because we don't have the right to talk about things that are very hard or difficult, not because there's something wrong with you for having gone through something traumatic, painful, or still be going through it. The problem is not those that are suffering. The problem is the people that can't allow the space without harming them. That's the problem. And Connie fits into that. Connie fits into that. It's amazing to me that I've been on this platform since 2017. I can't remember the first time that I had an interaction with Connie, but I do know that she was a clip channel. And I do know that she was bringing public awareness. I know I have one thing to be thankful to Connie for, and that's that there are a couple of people on the platform that I never interacted with, was never in their chats. I don't know anyone from their community, any of their diehards, and I'm glad for that because they've never changed. Those people have never changed. And Connie did bring some awareness to that. But I've seen such a drastic change in Connie that where I sit today, the things that she's talking about when it comes to the people that she doesn't like, she's worse than them. And that's going to piss her off and trigger her. And that's not my intention. My intention is no longer to try to get through to Connie that her dominating, domineering, controlling, manipulative, in your face, 2 minutes, that doesn't work for anybody but Connie. So when you got somebody like Connie who's not willing to ever grow from her wrongdoing or to acknowledge that there are other people, when this nosy bitch actually has the audacity to say 2 people can't forgive each other without her permission or she's going to throw a raging fit, you can't deal with her anymore. There's no having a conversation with her. So how do we move forward and have fun and forgive each other and become friends or not become friends, coexist with people that we don't like without having to deal with Connie? Well, let's start with how we got here. I think I have a lot of this figured out. I'm glad that a lot of you are here to help me in case I got some of that wrong. Hey, Morris, good to see you. Always good to see you. Hey, KB. Don't know Connie, don't want to. I'm talking about Constance Sue, aka Brawny. Hey, Angelo. Treat her like the donkey she is. She really fucked up yesterday. Her anger and her hatred is, you know, what I saw yesterday, I never thought I would see. I never, if somebody would have told me that Connie did that, I would have probably called him a liar. But I heard it with my own ears. I have to ask, is the walls gray or sage green? Gray. ADD kicks in. I don't know everyone in the community yet. Save my other question for later. Okay. Good to see you, Whipping Post. It's gray. Gray. Yeah, and so it's easy to block, right? We can just be like, fucking blocker. But what about when she's copy pasting comments from one chat to another to prove her point? What about when she's reading community posts that have nothing to do with her? What about when the people that she's been relentlessly stalking, and I mean that term literally, but those that she doesn't stop following and talking about? What about when they move forward, they move on and they're talking about other things and other people and interacting with other people? What about when those people, what about when they write community posts that have nothing to do with Connie, but she makes it about her and then fires up a live stream with the whole rage? See, this is where Connie's at. She's at the point of, you're going to have to go get some help, unplug, find a hobby, or keep pushing people away. Keep pushing people away. We can block her, but she does that running around, jumping on panels, jumping in communities, and I don't know what's wrong with her. And so I've come to the conclusion that we can't do anything about her. She's going to say what she's going to say. She can do what she's going to do, but do we let it affect us? But I think I figured some other stuff out. I may be wrong. Okay, 2 things here. I'm going to drop the link for this live stream. This goes to Trader's live stream. And if you wouldn't mind grabbing Trader's, let me grab her. So the 2 people that Connie is the most obsessed with are Nicolina and Trader's. And I'm as sad as I am that I witnessed and saw what she did yesterday, what Connie's been doing for the last few weeks. Yesterday was like the apex of it. Hey, YouTube dumpster firefighter reunited. We are not the same person. I know this, but that rumor is now circulating again thanks to big fat nasty Jenna. There is Trader's channel link. If you are not subscribed, I'm sure that you are. If you're not, you need to be, because there's so much truth over there. The one thing I want to show you is, if you think that there's not an obsession here, take a look at this. So I'm going to drop the link to Connie's channel because I like for you to be able to think for yourself. I don't want to ever tell you something and have you not do it, not go do the research for yourself. Constance Sue has something to say. Not Vilomah still. I know, right? If only people would stop saying that. Well, she gave birth on a live stream. What? I'm almost 50 years old. I haven't. Listen, the doctor took the baby factory out and put in a playground several years ago. So shut up about that. Okay, this is Connie's channel. So I just want to show you some things here. Connie says she's not obsessed with Nicolina and the Mean Girls. You didn't see it rap? Are you crazy? She hit an ultimate low. She disrespected people and used their tragedies, their family tragedies. She went real life, in my opinion. She told things about people that nobody else knew. How are you somebody who's going to scream about other people going real life and say that that's what you're the most upset about, that these people have gone real life over and over and over? You do the same freaking thing, but sit on some kind of a moral pedestal and act like you haven't, and then talk about somebody's relationship status or separation status, or nobody needs to know that shit. But that proves two things. One, that you do collect information about people, and two, that you share it without their permission, without giving them a heads up. You're shit, Connie. In the midst of laughing and making fun of people that are suffering greatly, and you did laugh. And that's the you that people need to see. The you whose hatred has grown so massive, you don't even see it. You think everything that you say and do is justified. I'm here to tell you it's not. You are the monster that you claim to be fighting against all this time. And I hope that you see it. I hope that you see it. I hope somebody at some point stops and says, Connie, this is what you're doing. This is how you've hurt me. And I hope that you hear somebody. I don't expect it to be me. I don't care. It's not about you anymore. It's about other people knowing that you're not safe. They're not safe to talk about their loss or their tragedies around you, because the minute they don't agree with you, like I didn't agree with you, here we sit. And this whole internet is full of people like you. It's gross. It's quite gross. This is Connie's channel. So I want to show you her playlists. I dropped a link to the channel. Nicolina Traders Mean Girl fake accounts. Nicolina Traders Mean Girls calling pedophiles predators. Nicolina Traders Mean Girls DX doxes. Nicolina Traders Mean Girls Lady Wayne Mountain. I don't even know half these people, but are you seeing that there's a common theme here? Benny Keys live stream review. Nicolina live stream review. Nicolina Traders Mean Girls Rosie. Nicolina Traders. Thank you. Thank you, Roy Boy. Appreciate that. Emmy's meow. Roy Boy. The most delusional thing she says is that she wants to make the world a better place. Right. While her private life is in shambles. I don't know about her private life, but I can only assume that it is based on how her social media life is. She's an absolute disaster here. Everybody that we'll get to that. So do you see a theme with these playlists? Nicolina Traders Mean Girl Violent Threats. Nicolina Traders Mean Girl Heaven's Babies. Nicolina Traders. Nicolina. Traders, as Ghost would say. Nicolina traders. Nicolina traders. Nicolina traders. Nicolina traders. Nicolina traders. Body shaming. Anatomy of drama trolling. Look here. Nicolina traders. Mean Girls. Anissa. Smoky Mountain Mama. Randomly Ash. Purple Phoenix. Hypocrisy. Do you see this? Who has this much time to focus, devote, and dedicate to one or two people? And how is this normal? This isn't documenting. This is stalking. This isn't documenting. This is stalking. I watched a ton of Connie's clips. Good God help me in the morning. And then I watched other clips. And when it gets to the point where one side of this equation are apologizing, owning their shit. We say it all the time. They stand in their truth. They own it. Yep, I did it. Traders will freaking straight up be like, I did it on a live stream. Here, do you want the link? You don't have to. Connie, nobody's forcing you to accept apologies. No one can do that. However, I know that's a favorite word. It's not up to you to decide if other people accept an apology, make an apology. It's not. A lot of this shit is not even your business. And for you to insert yourself into all these people's business because you have a vendetta because of something that was said or done or accused about somebody that you support, this is insanity at this point. There's people on this platform that I care a lot about, and there's a handful that I have a lot of love for. I will never turn into Connie white knighting for somebody, ever. I don't know what the reason behind all of that is. But I found kind of, in my opinion, as far back as I could trace where this all goes, I think I found where it starts. And that's the most confusing part. But do you see the theme here? These playlists are all about Nicolina. Now, if I was new to the platform, and somebody came to me and said, "Hey, can you will you review these clips? Will you take a look at these? Can you be unbiased and take a look at some of this content and review it or cover it?" And I said, "Yeah, give me your channel link." And then I saw this playlist. I would run like a fart in the wind. This is not documentation of what you believe to be bad behavior. This is stalking, obsession. How do you have time for anything in your real life? How do you have time? And how do people that you're talking about 24/7, 365 without taking air, how do they breathe? Do you see what I mean? How would you not feel like you were being smothered by someone like Connie who's running around and I'm documenting your every syllable because she has an intention with that. I wish I would have paid more attention to what you were doing. I don't think that there's an intervention for people like this. I really don't. Hey, Valerie. Yeah, you'd have to be on 23 out of 24 hours a day. Y'all, I'm still scrolling. Nicolina. Oh, here we go. Here we get to Dolly Vision, Ernie Show. Listen, other people's opinions of me, Andrew Hiltz, Mama T 43, Z Beyond Wild, Benny Keys, Ernie Show, Petty Betty. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Let's go with 25, 26, 27, just to be safe, that are not solely focused on Nicolina and or Nicolina and traders. I want you to think for a minute. I don't agree with real life shit. I don't go real life. I've never doxed. I can say that all day long because I truly have not. But think for a minute and let me ask you an honest question. How do you not feel smothered? And this isn't about simping for anybody. This isn't about standing up for anybody. This isn't even about taking sides. See, Connie's accused me of all this side taking and whatever. I disagreed with Connie. She added me to the attack list. That's her choice, not mine. But when I seen her do it, I thought, I don't want to be friends with that bitch anymore. If I can't disagree with that with you, if I can't have a different opinion, there's something wrong with you. I can agree to disagree with anybody. Shit, some of my managing moderators and I don't agree 100% on everything. I still have respect for them. I still care about them. We're still friends. If they call me, I'm still there. Vice versa. Connie, how does one person, how long has Connie been on this platform? Let's look at how long. Let me make this bigger. Connie's been here since December 22nd, 2021. Wow. Let's scroll back through here and take a look at all these playlists that are about Nicolina, Traders, and the Mean Girls. How would you not feel completely smothered? How would you not feel stalked if every chat you go into, there's Connie? If every time you fire up a live stream, Connie fires one up, screaming at you from her panel, coming into your chats, copying and pasting your chats and taking them over to hers or taking them to somebody else's chat. How do you not feel smothered? Because Connie can't stop taking these clips, which are highly biased, heavily edited to make her point be what she wants you to agree with, which is the problem to begin with. If you want people to see the bad behavior, you don't have to work this hard for them to see it. If you really truly want people to believe that Nicolina and Traders and the Mean Girls are these monsters, their behaviors speak for themselves. It doesn't take this obsession and this amount of smothering and force feeding and temper tantrums whenever you don't get your way for people demanding that people agree with you. There's something wrong with expecting people to see that they are all the problem when you have your entire life is focused on and solely dedicated to the Mean Girls, to Nicolina and Traders. But they're the problem? We all know somebody that can't take any ownership, right? That can't stand up and be like, yeah, I messed up. We're surrounded by them on this platform. It's my belief that COVID-19 made that so much worse. I don't like the word narcissist, but let me tell you, in my opinion, COVID-19 and the lockdowns made narcissists run to platforms just like this, Instagram, Facebook, all of the platforms where you can live stream and get instant gratification for having a chat tell you how wonderful you are, how right you are. It's my opinion that's why there's so many that are here. And they're here for that narcissistic supply or that demand that they need. A chat full of people like, yes, you're right. You're so right. You're so right. It's my opinion that COVID-19 has truly expounded the narcissist's ability to have a crowd full of people adoring them and worshiping them and feeding them all of that emotional, uplifting that they need in order to feel validated. And that's why we're surrounded by them. It's my opinion. I'm not a professional. It's just what I think. Yes, cracking asses. I talked to Traders earlier and they were in the chat a little bit ago. And I'm sure that they're still feeling it today because yesterday was just an absolute shit show. And Connie can run rampant to everybody. Like, Connie she can be out there telling everybody how everybody's taking this out of context. Well, you're going to hear it yourself. You're going to hear a couple of clips, Connie in her own words, publicly on panels, and you tell me how it can be taken out of context. The fact that two women are sitting on a panel emotionally reacting to what they heard, that's not taking something out of context. The reaction to your fuck shit, to your hatred for them, to your animosity for them. And finally, Connie, finally, you found the jugular to get that emotional reaction out of two people that you hate because they disagree with you about Jimbo. Whoever Jimbo is, they disagree with you about Jimbo. All of this work, Connie, that you put into the shit channel that you have over here, all of this, was it worth it? Did you finally get your payout? Was it your big moment yesterday? I bet that was your big moment, wasn't it? That you sat on a panel or in the confines of your home or some closet somewhere, because I think you truly are a closet case, and listened to two women that you have stalked, harassed, done everything in your power to destroy. And you finally got an emotional reaction, and then you laughed. In my opinion, when you exploit someone's pain and suffering and their loss and their tragedy to the point that you are on a panel saying that they're faking, calling them actors, that's how much more low can you get? I can't imagine. I bet you felt real big of yourself, didn't you? Connie, you remember the day that we sat on a panel together and you said, every time I think about what you're going through every day, Vilomah, every time I think about it, I cry. I can't imagine. Because you're a mom and you have sons. And you said, I can't imagine. I can't imagine either, Connie. But you know what I can't imagine even more than that? I would trade places with you, Connie, in a minute. You're laughing at grief and loss. You're laughing at bereavement. Hey, Annabella Roma, you're laughing. I would trade places with you in a minute. Not because I want something to happen to your children. I would never wish that on my worst enemy. There's not a soul walking the earth that deserves the pain and the suffering on a daily basis, every day, all the time. But do you know how much more wonderful my life would be if my son and I were just estranged? If I could contact him by phone, if I could find out where he is and go visit him, if I could get on my knees and beg to just have an hour with him. Do you know what I would do for 1 hour with my son? There's nothing I wouldn't do. Absolutely nothing. Sell my soul, I would do it. I would do it. Die immediately after, I would do it. So it's kind of hard for me to have any amount of respect for you. Trader's brother is also Sapphire's son. So when you're laughing because Trader's is sad or crying, when you're laughing because Anissa, who never wanted all of this stuff brought to YouTube, when you're laughing about that, I can't even explain to you the amount of animosity and disgust that builds up inside of me looking at you like, you mean to tell me you are surrounded by people that have suffered so greatly that someone like you can't even fathom it. You can't even begin to imagine what it would be like to get a phone call thinking that your kid's got a broken leg or a broken arm, and you walk into a hospital and he's dead. On a table, not moving, hoses and wires, all of the tubes, all of the things. And you sit in judgment of people that live that every day. Those images will never be erased, ever. You have the ability to find your son, to make amends with him, to explain yourself, to ask for forgiveness. Whatever the problems are, I'm not coming at you about parenting. I know nothing about the story, and I hope and pray that whatever happened, I pray, I beg, I hope with my entire soul that it's worked out, because I don't want to see you try to find your way through what so many of us have gone through. But do you have any idea how many people heard you laughing, making a mockery of other people's loss and their tragedies? So you can do that because you've never felt it, because you've never got that phone call. Does that make you feel good though? Because you haven't experienced it, you feel justified to judge? I can't imagine coexisting with people like you, taking for granted all of the time that you have every day, rather than focusing on your life and the rights that you can wrong, rather than finding the people that you truly love and care about and investing your time and energy into them. You have all of these playlists. I've never seen a channel like it. Never. Connie, you've not been here 2 years. I've seen channels that are solely devoted to one or two people. Nothing like this in this short period of time. So people have asked you, what's the end game for you? What do you intend the end to be? I don't understand it. To still have the ability to stand and point to everybody else and say how everybody else is the problem, and you want this person and that person and all of these people to review. You need unbiased people and you want them to review it and all of this stuff. You know why nobody wants you? Because if they don't agree with you, just like me, you cast me aside. I'm a liar. I'm a simp. I'm a this. I'm a that. I'm weak. I'm running to people for protection. I'm hate bonding. Your assumptions are based on nothing more than your gut instinct. I don't like people that are led by their gut instinct. I just don't. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's fair. So I'm going to start here to make sure that Connie heard this. Again, this comes from Traders last night. Let me drop the link. I'm going to let this little portion play and then I'll be right back. Then I want you to hear exactly why so many people are so upset. I don't see any coming back from this, Connie. I just don't. That's my opinion.
Hey, Vilomah.
Hey, what's up? How are you?
Hey, Vilomah.
We're fine.
Yeah. Kind of rough right now, right? An actual
Yeah.
beast over there, just giving it all she's got to show who she really is.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry. People like this on the internet, sadly enough, exist. They walk amongst us. But I wanted to remind you guys of some things that I think I don't want you to ever forget. I would have no idea who any of you were if not for Connie's incessant and her obsession with you, with documenting. I think I'm sitting here listening as I'm putting laundry away and kind of doing some stuff. And here's what I'm picking up on. I took notes because I think there's more than just a problem with what Connie's whole issue is right now. I want you to not forget the number of people and communities that are waking up to finally hearing both sides of the story. See, where Connie likes to run around and say that she has so much integrity and that she's so respected, that's not happening. And I think that's why she's escalating and becoming such an asshole. The places where she once found herself fitting, there's no space for her there. And it's because of the way she demands everyone's attention and focus to be exactly what she wants it to be. But people are waking up and they're seeing both sides of the situation. So just like Traders, you came to me and said that I'm hearing all of this stuff. I'd like to hear your side of it. And we didn't even really have to have a conversation about it. You've seen it for yourself and then you made your own judgment. Other people are doing that as well. So where the mean girls as a unit, but each of you individually have stood up in your truth and said, this is what I did. I did it on a live stream. There's videos of it. You don't run around saying that you didn't do it. You freaking own it. That's the difference. That's what makes you guys a lot more special, acceptable, and easy to forgive. Don't ever forget that. Don't forget that for as bad as it feels right now, there are other people that are waking up, that this is not a one-sided. Connie doesn't have the integrity. She doesn't have the support She doesn't have people that are just sitting and listening to her every word. And so I don't want what she's doing right now. I don't want all of the work that you guys have put into owning your shit and moving forward in a positive direction to get lost in the bullshit that she's trying to spin right now. Don't forget that you have a ton of people that are completely aware of who she is, and we're never looking back. Once we see you're ugly, we're not going to look back. And there's a difference with hiding your ugly for all of this time while pointing at everybody else, then showing yourself, showing you're ugly, and then saying, I don't want to be this anymore, and then moving forward in a different way. That's two perspectives. What I'm hearing out of Connie during your stream right now that's a little troubling. Connie has a problem with authority. She wants to be able to tell everybody how to feel and who to trust and who to like. But even more so, why is she so offended when other people can forgive each other? I hear her talking about Anissa, White Rabbit, all these other people. And I apologize, I don't know all of them. But here's the thing. You're an adult and you're grown and you're mature. And people are more apt to accepting you and understanding you and loving you when you can forgive someone else. So whatever happened between Anissa and White Rabbit and Anissa and anybody else and traders and Anissa and all of these people, all these names coming out of her mouth, it's not up to Connie to decide who forgives who and who accepts who. If Anissa and the Mean Girls or Anissa and Nicolina or whoever can come together and say, yeah, I said that in anger, I don't feel that way, and give each other a second chance, why is Connie so offended by that? I think it's because Connie's understanding people aren't going to accept her, because no one should have to tell you not to use someone's deceased family members as weapons. No one should have to do that ever. And Connie can't make a rebuttal. So when you say to Connie, you did this, you did that, you said this, you said that, her constant rebuttal to everything goes back to, well, look what you put Jimbo through. And I don't know Jimbo. I don't know his story. It's not my business. I'm not going to go seek it. But does Jimbo know that people would have no idea about his past or his history if not for Connie white knighting so fiercely and so hard? I don't understand. As far as her using your guys' brothers, that's unforgivable in my opinion. You don't come back from that. You don't try so hard to be right and to be the person of authority and to be the moral compass when someone has to tell you to stop using someone's deceased family members for warfare. I mean, you've lost not only the fight, you shouldn't be on the internet if you don't know that that's wrong, and another adult has to tell you that it's wrong. No one should ever have to say that. So here's the last thing. Connie, when you're angry and you're pissed off and you can't, you say that the Mean Girls have done so much fuck shit, that Nicolina is just the most terrible human that's ever walked the earth, that Traders is right up there with her. If that were true, you shouldn't have to resort to deceased family members in order to win an argument. So that you've already lost. There's no argument. You have turned into exactly what you accused all of the Mean Girls of being, times 10 on steroids. You're the worst person on the internet. You're worse than Bombshell. You're worse than Tiffany, because there's no coming back from this. How many more people, Connie, are you going to push away before you realize that you're the problem? Because everybody that you cared about, everybody that you respected, and all the people that loved and cared about you and thought that you were a moral person, we wouldn't sit at the same table with you ever. There's no coming back from this. See, when you're angry and you're pissed off and you start hurling insults and you start using everything that you can find, going right for the jugular to say terrible things to another person whom you don't know other than on YouTube, you don't get to decide what hurts them or not. When you're married and you have two people that are coexisting in the same space and they have a fight and one person says fuck you, the other person doesn't get to decide, or that person gets to decide if that hurts. You don't get to decide how your words hurt or affect other people. What you're doing right now, running around saying, I didn't use Trader's brother, you have a playlist. That's a ton of videos and live streams, hours and hours and hours long, of you talking about Trader's brother, aka Sapphire's son, in an attempt to say that no one should have to tell you that that's not okay. If the Mean Girls are truly terrible people that are unforgivable, that have done terrible things, you should be able to list those things. But why does everything go back to this Jimbo guy? Why does it always go back to Jimbo? I'm going to leave it there. I might pipe back up later. This is infuriating. And I want you to know your efforts don't go unnoticed, that all of the time that you're putting in, I know that it hurts right now. I can't say anything. There's no words. It's going to make it not hurt. None. It's going to hurt. Lean into it, give it a little bit of time, and then get your ass right back up, because you are a force to be reckoned with. You are. You put a lot of time and energy into a lot of stuff here, a lot of good. And for all the people that have something negative to say, there's 10 more that have something positive, because we're seeing what's been happening all this time. Don't forget that. And it's I'll talk to you later about some things that I would like to get to you. In the meantime, I'm going to be listening. Just remember, there's more of us that understand and that are seeing it. And Connie's just gross. I mean, my heart's broke at how disgusting she truly is. Nobody deserves this. No one should have to say, stop talking about my deceased family members. No one. No one should ever have to say that to another adult. And here we are. And she's ranting. That corny ass little laugh that she says, that she does when anytime she says something that she knows is going to hurt somebody else, shows what she really truly is on the inside. I don't know if maybe she can't control her own life and that's why she wants to come here and control everybody. But every single person that she comes in contact with, we've all seen the clips. We just weren't smart enough to go and watch the other side. We truly thought that she was somebody of integrity. Now we're seeing the other side of it. Kind of, you're worse than anyone that you're talking about on the other side of your fence. You're worse than that. So I hope that she either learns to stop trying to control everything and everybody. Maybe the Jimbo guy needs to tell her, like, stop running around talking about me everywhere. But Connie's obsession is either with Nicolina or it's with the Jimbo guy, or it's with both. But either way, she's beyond what she claims to be fighting against. She's the worst human on the internet. And for me to say that about over Bombshell and Tiffany, can you imagine? I mean, she's laughing talking about Anissa's brother having passed. That's unforgivable. I'm sorry, Anissa. I'm very sorry that you even have heard someone be so just gross. There's just no words. Just disgusting. But I'll be listening. If you need me, you know where I'm at. All right, love y'all.
Love you.
So I jumped on the panel last night because I want traders and Anissa to remember one person's opinion doesn't speak, or her nasty chat. They don't speak for the entire community. Contrary to what a lot of people believe, forgiveness is a real thing. When people can own what they've said and what they've done, as the mean girls have, and I've seen them apologize. I've seen Nicolina specifically on 2 different panels apologizing, not denying anything that she's done, asking for a truce. And I know Connie hates that. I've also watched on other streams, people that have nothing to do with any of the back and forth. I've seen them say that to her, and she laughs. She says, well, you don't understand. People don't have to understand. See, I have a problem with understanding how if Lee Marie and Lise Levesque go at each other for 6 months and say the worst possible things to one another, and Salty C comes in the middle and she gets involved with, and the 3 of them are going at each other for 6 months, saying and doing the worst things to one another. And that 6 months goes by and they sit down to the table and they have a conversation and they apologize. If they walk away from that table having forgiven one another, calling each other friend, I don't have the right to pass judgment on that. It's not my business. I should be happy that they're friends and that all of the drama stops, that the hurt stops. That's a win for everybody, not just for the 3 of them. That's a win for the people that care about them. Because when 2 people don't like each other, it does affect the people close to them. It absolutely does. That's why the mean girls, that's why there's such a group of them. I don't understand why Connie is so offended. I met Traders several weeks ago, a little more than 2 months ago, because she had enough respect for me that when she heard some bad, nasty, ugly things that I was accused of, she came to me and said, "Can I hear your side?" There's been like maybe 3 people on this whole platform that have ever done that, ever. Most people instantly just react to what they hear, choose a side, and run with it. And that's what people have done with Connie. I'm not saying that the mean girls are innocent of anything that they've ever been accused of. The difference is they own it. They do it on live streams. They talk about it on panels. But if they can go to the people that they've hurt, and if the people that they've hurt can come to them and they can sit down and talk about it and they can apologize and forgive each other, the only reason that Connie would have to continuously throw those things back up into their face and run to all these new people coming into the community who haven't been around is because she has a nefarious reason for doing it. She has an intention for doing it. See, Connie got mad at me. When Traders came to me and said, "Hey, I heard all this stuff. Can I hear your side of it?" I gave her the links. I showed her my side of it. I didn't say, "Hey, you have to forgive me." I didn't follow her around to all the places that she goes to and demand that she see more. Well, if that first clip didn't tell you, let me give you a second one. Let me give you a third one. Well, let me get on a panel with you. There's no reason to be frantic about proving your truth or proving your side of anything. Just watch the shit. Click the link, watch the video, form your own opinion. But Connie doesn't do that. We've seen her do this from one channel to the next, from one panel to the next. Today, Connie sits back and says, all these people that I had so much respect for, I've lost them. She blames the mean girl. She blames Nicolina for everything. It's Nicolina's fault that the ship didn't agree with her. It's Nicolina's fault that she went on this other panel and didn't get her way. It's not Nicolina's fault. See, Traders came to me and said, "Can I see your side of it?" And I gave it to her. Yeah, here's my channel. Do you want the unlisted stuff? You want the private stuff? Because when you got nothing to hide, you hide nothing. Connie follows them around. Connie sent me a bunch of links. Watch this. This is what she did to this person. This is what she did to that person. When I said to Connie, I'm not getting involved in all of that stuff. It has nothing to do with me. Not from the same community that I was a part of. Both sides do all this stuff to each other. But if they're saying today that they don't want to be like that anymore, that they want to go back to having fun, who am I to judge what they did a year ago? People do that to me. I had to slip up on a panel, got really pissed off, said some ugly shit. I don't deny it. I own it. But if they judged me because of that one moment, they would think I was that same person every day all the time, and I'm not. That was one moment. But why is Connie so offended when people disagree with her? Or they don't want to get in the middle of it. They don't want to have an opinion about what Nicolina or Traders or the Mean Girls said about somebody a year ago. Even more so, Connie hoards people in her chat. Her chat is they're the most unforgiving people I think I've ever seen on the whole platform. Once you enter that chat, there's no coming back. You can't leave. Connie talks about hate bonding. That chat is terrible. There's people that won't even go in there and chat because they don't automatically agree. They don't want to get in the middle of anything. Connie used to be fun, and she did. But you can't disagree with Connie. You can't have a difference of opinion. It's either no Nicolina, no Traders, no Mean Girls, ain't happening. There's no way to coexist. You can't set boundaries. All of us have done that. Every new community that's been forced to choose has not chose Connie, because Connie then wants to dictate who can be on your panel, who can be in your chat, who you can be friends with, who you can social. Listen, my dad told me who I could be friends with when I was a teenager. But if I can effectively and successfully set boundaries with people, and say, I've worked really hard to not let my anger get to that point, and they respect that, I respect them more. I respect them more for allowing me to have my opinion, to set my boundaries, and to say, this is what's important to me. Connie didn't allow that. It was one chat after another, blowing up the emails. Everybody has to agree. We don't all have to agree. What she's missing is the number of times the mean girls have stood up and said, yeah, I did that, and I'm sorry for that. How many times is Nicolina supposed to? And this isn't a simping for Nicolina. This is my opinion, because Nicolina come on my panel to talk about safe haven baby boxes, and Connie blew in the chat like a wrecking ball, calling her a liar and all. And I seen it for myself. Traders came to me and said, can I see your side of it? Why wouldn't I do the same thing? I watched all Connie's clips, but you can't disagree even a little bit. It has to be, this is what I want. This is how I want it. You think I'm credible? I don't think you're credible, Connie. I'm now seeing that your hatred has gone from that you didn't like what Nicolina and the mean girls did to your friend, that all the people in your chat have one experience with them and it's filled you full of hate, and you want to play word semantics about how they're terrible human beings. It's turned into two humans, two women on a panel, emotionally upset because of what you've done and how you won't let it go. And you don't get to be the person that decides on how deeply they're hurt by your actions, because your actions were intended to hurt them. You succeeded in that. All you wanted to do was hurt. And you hurt them. And it all goes back to this Jimbo person. This is what's crazy to me. This is what I don't understand about this. Ask how many times we stood up for Connie when people were too mean to her. Several times. Ernie got so gross with her. We all stood up, not even her simps. See, with Connie, it's hate the mean girls, hate Nicolina, or you're part of them. You're part of them. You're part of them. Now I want to show you this clip. Because I don't want to, there's some personal stuff that I don't want to revisit or bring back up. So bear with me for just a second. Hey, Southern girl. Okay, here we go. Again, I'm going to drop the link for this live stream. I want you to go watch the live stream on Trader's channel. I just want to hit a couple of points from this live stream. I do want to show photos, and thank you for that. I want people to see that that your brothers were human beings, that they were loved, that they had lives, that they lived, they existed, they walked the earth. Their memories are forever here. They'll live on forever. And it's hard for people to understand or grasp. But there are people that have lost siblings, that have lost parents, that have lost best friends, cousins, uncles, you name it, children. And when you don't see that these people actually existed, it's hard for you to relate. And they're handsome young men. I think that we should remember them, but not in the way that Connie wants to. And the fact that Connie could do this, just the ultimate low was hit, in my opinion. I'm dumbfounded. I knew that Connie was obsessive. I knew that she had hit this all new low, but I truly never thought it would be this. I never thought she could bring herself to this low. There's no coming back from this. You can't undo the wrongs. Okay, let me get. Okay. So Anissa's brother, This is a photo of Anissa's brother. Handsome young man that tragically taken in an accident. And this is the person that Anissa lives the rest of her life without. She didn't get a warning. Nobody said, hey, can I totally destroy your life? Didn't happen like that. On top of that pain, we have Connie wanting to weaponize and use for her own nefarious reasons. And before you say, Connie would never do that, I want you to hear it. His smile, look at this kid's smile. His smile, he looks like someone who smiles, lights up a room, and has a super contagious laugh. Like he smiles with his whole face. His eyes light up when I see him smile in this photo. And this is Jeffrey, which is Trader's brother. Obviously, I've never met either of these young men. But when I look at the pictures of Jeffrey, all I can do is laugh. Like I just get total class clown. Like the funny guy, the brings the balance to the room, sucks the air out of the room because he's just so full of life and so funny. And he looks just like Traders. So these are the two people that are gone. They're never going to come back home. They're not going to call. They're not going to knock on the door. No Christmas presents, no birthdays, just pain thinking about them. And again, nobody called Traders and said, hey, what day works for you for your best friend to be taken from the earth in a very, tragic way. It didn't happen. Nobody gets a warning sign. And so nobody should be talking about them except for Traders and Anissa. I messaged Traders and said, is it okay to show their photos? Is it okay to, play these parts? Because I don't feel right telling any of their story because it's Traders. Because when someone passes away, their death is as personal as their birth and all of those private moments that you share with them. There's only so many things that we have left of the people that we truly love and care about. And then they're taken from us with no warning. All of those precious memories, they become so personal that sharing them before you're ready can be traumatizing. And you have Connie over there taking these two women who she absolutely does not like. I'm pretty sure it's safe to say she despises them. Okay, that's cool. You don't have to like them. But when adults have to tell you that using the death of their brothers is wrong, your hatred has consumed you. You're full of hate. What could these two young men who are no longer with us have ever done for you to have an opinion that's funny? You laugh not at their death, but at the fact that two people that you don't like are hurting. And you dare still walk and say that Traders is the problem or that Anissa is the problem. The fact that Traders and Anissa are friends or close friends is really not your business. And that you think they need to get your permission to apologize to one another says everything about you. Again, I want you to understand, we're not talking about two, figments of imagination or two imaginary people. These young men are gone. They're gone. And Traders and Anissa feel that loss every second, every hour of every day, of every week for the rest of their lives. To see two people who are strong as rocks, very emotional, in pain because of Connie, because of her need and her demand to be right. It angered a lot of people. There's a shit ton of people. And I think a lot of it comes from people are waking up. Like I said yesterday on the panel, people are waking up to it. It's not sane or normal for someone to be this obsessed with people that they don't like. I don't like Bombshell. I don't talk about her every day. I don't know shit about her life other than what she's put on the platform. You talked, Connie, yesterday about something in Anissa's personal life. I didn't know anything about her personal life to that extent. I didn't know anything about, you know, I'm not gonna repeat it because it's not my story to tell. But you just so casually and blasé and just, she's going through this too, as if it was the whole internet's business. And it caught my attention because you've ran through the streets like I don't go real life. I don't go real life. Here we find out you have. You've called CPS on people. You've called law enforcement on people. You admitted that. Heard it on a panel. I heard the clips. It's your voice. You have gone real life. But see, you think that it was okay because you did it. You made the judgment call. You saw what you saw that made you think, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and make. But what if it was someone else? If it's Nicolina that does it, doesn't matter if it's a warranted call. Because you did it, it was okay. So let's not talk about that. I heard you say yesterday several times, I clearly showed, in reference to talking about Trader's tragedy, which is also Sapphire's tragedy. Let's not forget, there are two people. Two people. This young man is not just Trader's brother. This is Sapphire's biological son. The first time that you mentioned, I don't know when the first time was, the first time I heard the clips of you mentioning this tragedy, Trader's family tragedy, was in reference to her mother crying. And in my opinion, I think a lot of the animosity goes all the way back to the Jimbo person. And let me be clear. I don't know the Jimbo person. I'm not going to go seek him out. That has nothing to do with what I'm talking about today. I don't want any more people that Connie supports or White Knights or is obsessed with to become part of my everyday life on YouTube. I don't want that shit. Where Connie goes, chaos follows. But I heard Connie say yesterday, about 48 minutes in, that you clearly showed that you didn't use her brother's tragedy, that you didn't lose the death of her brother as a weapon. When you say that you clearly showed that, that's your opinion. In your opinion, you may truly believe that, but you don't get to have everyone else's opinion match yours. You can't say that you clearly showed that and expect that people believe that. It sounds like one of those, what do you call them? It's like an instant gratification statement. People that hear you say that are assuming that that's truth. But I'm looking at a playlist that says otherwise. You say that you clearly have not weaponized Trader's family tragedy. Well, I find that hard to believe. I've heard the clips. But you have a playlist. I'm going to find it and show it to you. Here it is. I mean, if this doesn't say that Connie is she can't stand that she is actually guilty of the things that she's accused others of doing. But do you see this right here? 9 videos. Let me make it smaller. Right here. 9 videos. Traders accusing me of weaponizing her brother's death. Now, at one point, this actually said, Traders accusing me of weaponizing her murdered brother. Thank you, Connie, for changing that to make it a little more respectful. But you have 9 videos not talking about Trader's brother / Sapphire's son. This is, to me, like prime example of why we shouldn't just take people at face value. To me, this is kind of like, it's like one of those moments when you side-eye somebody. Like, did you really just say that? Connie can say all day long that she's never weaponized Trader's family tragedy and Sapphire's I'm going to say both of them because there's 2 people that are hurt. But here's 9 videos in a playlist. If somebody told me, if Traders is my mortal enemy and I just despise her, I'm just like, she's the nastiest bitch on the internet. If I truly thought that, and I had even mentioned her brother's death, and she said, you're weaponizing that against me, I would never mention it again. That's a way of saying you don't have the right to talk about something so personal. And I know Connie's going to come back with, well, if you don't want people to talk about it, you shouldn't bring it to the internet. Is that really the standard that we're going to set? That people can't talk about personal things with people without Connie listening in the background or recording all of the live streams or clipping the shit out of it so that she can later go on a smear campaign because she found a crutch. She found the jugular. She found what's going to bring the reaction that's going to give her the power trip. I mean, that's how Connie talks. We shouldn't have talked about it on the internet. And then we get into the back and forth. That's one example of how Connie says, I clearly showed that I didn't use her brother. And she wants people to believe that. But I just showed you a playlist that has 9 videos in it that I've been wanting to say for weeks. How do you do that? How do you have a playlist and 9 videos? Let's talk about how long Connie goes live. So we have an hour here, an hour here. So let's see. 5-6 hours. Can you imagine your brother is tragically murdered, fairly recent, and a YouTuber that hates your guts, that never has anything nice or decent to say about you, has a playlist? Can you imagine why Traders has so much animosity? Doesn't trust Connie? Let's go back to where I think this all began. Let me get the timestamp. 22. Bear with me. I just want certain parts. And again, I'm going to drop the link for this video. Please go watch the video. Listen to all of it because there are so many good points. And you can hear Anissa speaking about how this has affected her. You can hear Traders talking about how this has affected him. Put yourself in their shoes. Someone hates you, whether they feel it's justified or not. I don't know. Maybe it's justified. Maybe Connie has justified reason for not liking the Mean Girls. But should that justified anger and hatred allow her to just pick tragedies out of thin air, make playlists about them, or go panel to panel where people don't even know what's going on? Traders is accusing me of talking about her murdered brother, which is completely disrespectful to the fact that he's gone. Sapphire, his mother, probably doesn't appreciate that language, but, and again, before you say, well, Traders says it, that's her brother. Traders can say what Traders wants to say about her brother. Traders and Sapphire have their mother and daughter, they are bonded. They speak how they speak, but that doesn't give me or anyone else the right to talk that freely and that openly about their tragedy. Let's listen to a little bit of this.
Hello. Are y'all ready for some?
I want you to notice right off the bat the tone in her voice. How dare Traders have a live stream talking about how people have spoke about her brother and Anissa's brother? How dare she fire up a live stream and have any kind of opinion about that? Their family tragedies that have been used as warfare on the internet. God forbid, Traders and Anissa, go sit in the corner, because how terrible of you to fire up a live stream to talk to your community about how you're feeling in this moment.
Some
Crime
disgusting fucking
committed.
shit. We'll do it over here. where nobody's gaslighting, nobody's distracting, nobody's running interference, and nobody's trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Yeah, I fucking said it. And I stand by it. Knock me in my head if you ever see me trying to give Anissa or White Rabbit a second chance.
So I want to be clear whenever I say I just met Anissa and I've been on a panel with White Rabbit. I was quite criticized because I was silent when she was talking. But here's the thing. I don't interject myself into other people's drama or their like conversations. You know, when somebody comes up on the panel and like the whole like the mood changes or the environment changes and you know that there's something going on that you don't have any business in, you just sit quietly or you drop off the panel. And so I don't have an opinion because I don't know anything about what they were talking about that day. I was just respectfully being mute so that they could talk out whatever it is that they were talking out. Other than that, I don't really have any interactions with White Rabbit. I don't have anything against her. I don't know anything about her. But I want you to notice the names that are mentioned: White Rabbit and Anissa.
Listen, I have said
Let me find the spot and then I'll tell you the backstory.
So I used to fall for this stuff too that Connie does. When she would say, let me tell you the backstory. The backstory is Connie's opinion. And here's what I've noticed. When you have two sides of an equation or two sides of an argument or a fight, when one person is clearly a part of one side, the backstory is from their perspective, their opinion, what they want you to believe or feel or see or think. In order to be completely unbiased and to have the full backstory, you would need to hear it from someone who's not directly involved, who's not affected, who doesn't have an intention going into a conversation. So I used to fall for this too when Connie would say that. Well, let me give you the backstory. But you need to understand you're getting Connie's backstory. Hey, Greg, good to see you. Hey, Scotty, Magnolia, Lily Rochelle. You're getting the backstory that Connie wants you to have. Now, I went back and watched a lot of clips from both sides, and I can tell you that up until like 3 months ago, both sides were doing the same things to one another. For all the times that people run around talking about, you know, Nicolina did this and Nicolina did that, Nicolina also lost her career because things were also done to Nicolina. I'm not saying Nicolina was an angel. She'll tell you she wasn't an angel. But that whole community did that. So from the outside looking in, you can't really scream at one side and hold them accountable when the other side did the same things. Nicolina lost too. She didn't just lose her career and her income, but the perks that went along with that career and that established, that established career. She lost a lot of things with that. So again, when you hear Connie say that I'm going to give you the backstory, she's giving you one side of the equation, and she's going to stand on it and swear that it's the truth. I'm going to tell you the truth. But Connie has something to gain or lose now, and that's your approval and your acceptance and your agreeing. And those things are so important to her, and I'm going to show you why.
she Save a Joe makes me medical worthy.
Because when I hear that somebody has mentioned
Washcloth, it actually feels good.
So, in case you didn't watch it, we're at White Rabbits, and I'm going to play it for you. And you tell me what you heard. And I want you to be people. I hear Trader say, yeah. And Constance's first 2 hours of her live last night were about my dead brother.
There should be no live streams about her brother. None. There should be 0 live streams about her brother unless she's sitting on the panel or in the chat and has given you permission to talk about her brother. And I know that you're going to turn around and be like, well, if you don't want people to talk about it, don't bring it to YouTube. That's bullshit. That's a cop-out. That is one of those socially acceptable cop-outs that gives other people permission to traumatize and re-traumatize those that are grieving because it fits your narrative. Because you want to run around and say, well, I'm not using his death. I'm not using that family tragedy. when you're the one that I didn't even know. I had conversation with traders and had no idea that she has a brother that was murdered, and that there's unsolved business with that. That there's no closure that's been had with that. I didn't know anything about that. I knew nothing about it, for the record. But you don't have the right, no one has the right to be firing up a live stream about that. I'm going to say it again. If Traders is the worst human on the earth, or somewhere close to it, as you say, all the stuff that she's done would suffice to prove that. Talking about her brother incessantly, refusing to stop when they've told you to stop, how does that prove your point? When you sat on a panel with her talking about the Jimbo guy and his first relationship, and I am not discussing those details. I've not seen anything document. I don't have an opinion about that. But there are two very strong opinions. One side is that it was wrong, and the other side is that it's right. And you can do your own research on that. That to me has nothing to do with the conversation today. Hey, Tog. So Connie is so adamant that she's right. In my opinion, this is where this goes back to. And I think it goes back here for one reason. Because any single time Connie and any of the mean girls, Nicolina Traders, I'm going to use them as the examples. Anytime Connie and Traders have been on a panel talking about who did what to who, Connie's rebuttal always goes back to, but look what you did to Jimbo. And I don't know the Jimbo guy. I have no opinion. Please don't come at me like you're talking about. I'm not talking about him. I don't know the details. It's not my business. I'm not trying to know. Please don't come in the chat with it. I don't want it over here. I have no opinion. My point is, that's Connie's that's always her rebuttal. Her constant rebuttal is, look what you did to Jimbo. Look what you did to Jimbo. Look what you did to Jimbo. So everything she's doing is on behalf of Jimbo. Does Jimbo know that? Does Jimbo know that he is your weapon of choice, that he is your sacrificial lamb, that you're running around the YouTubes doing all of these terrible things to people, saying all of this shit, to the point that you're talking about two of your enemies, deceased brothers, with so much hate and animosity coming out of you because you think they did Jimbo wrong? On that panel that day, this is where I get this from, Connie brought up Trader's mom crying. Who wouldn't cry? Connie, I cry every day. I guarantee you Sapphire cries every day. It's pretty normal. But I heard it myself. I heard the clip. Connie says, don't you want your mom to stop crying? To Traders. That was her go-to. She wants her opinion of Jimbo to be everyone else's opinion of Jimbo. Whether we're talking about his first relationship, if he's a nice person, if he has bad hair, if he drives a good car, whatever it is, it can be anything. They don't have the same opinion, but I don't hear them talking about him. I don't hear them. I've been in their chats. I've been on Trader's panel. I've been on phone with her. I mean, I talk to Traders almost every single day. I've come to respect her. I adore her. I think she's a hell of a strong woman. She's very giving. I mean, with her company, she's constantly conscious of other people. She thinks about other people. That may not be the version of Traders that you know. Traders came into the community like a wrecking ball, protecting her mom. And that's her story to tell. I'm telling you the Traders I know today. Not who she was 6 months ago, not who she was a year ago, but the Traders that I know today would do anything to help somebody. I've heard her apologize over and over and over profusely all the time. She owns the shit. What I know about Traders is personal phone conversations. She has my address. I can tell you, whoever Traders was 6 months ago, she has said she does not want to be involved in all of this fuck shit. She wants to just go back to having fun and doing parodies. Why are we not letting that happen? Why are you running around screaming about all of this real life stuff? And finally, they're like, okay, we don't want to do this anymore. Hey, COVIDs, how are you? We don't want to do this anymore. We just want to have fun. Will you accept my apology? And even when people say no, they're like, okay, I just know not to go around you then. Connie's the one with the problem. Connie in her chat. There's a good possibility that some of the people in that chat would have sat down and had conversation with Nicolina and Traders, probably walked away either agreeing to disagree or forgiving each other. But Connie won't allow it. So this goes back to the Jimbo person. So for Trader's mom, Sapphire, to stop crying about her son being spoke about on the internet, Traders is supposed to agree that Connie is right about the opinion of Jimbo, an aspect of his life. And Trader says, I don't agree with you. That means she fully believes in what she's saying. She's not settling out. So Connie gets mad and says, well, I guess you don't want your mom to stop crying then. Believe it or not, that is emotional extortion. If you want me to stop re-traumatizing you about your murdered brother, and Traders, I am so sorry. I hate even saying that. It doesn't even feel right to say it like that. But those are the words used. Then you have to agree with me. And Traders, in anger in that moment, says, all right, Connie, if you want a truce and you want this to stop, turn cam up, get on your knees and bark like a dog. So where you're going to hear Connie in this clip say, oh, clutching their pearls. Oh, it's selective outrage. That, to me, that was outrageous. To me, it was outrageous that you didn't understand that Traders was pissed off, felt disrespected, and was standing up for her mom and for her grief and their loss and saying that to you. That it was so outrageous for you to come up with this emotional blackmail. Why is it that every problem that anyone has with you goes back to Jimbo? And again, I don't know Jimbo. I have no opinion. But if somebody was white knighting for me that hard, that every single problem they have with somebody else goes back to me, that somebody hurt me, Lee Marie and Lisa Levesque are two of my closest friends. If every time they came in contact with somebody that had hurt me on this platform, and their go-to was, well, you hurt Vilomah, I would be like, okay, enough, stop. You're the one running around dragging it all over. But that was emotional blackmail. Had you said that to me, you probably would have had a similar reaction. I probably would have told you to fuck off, jump off a bridge. I don't care. Because it is emotional blackmail. And you don't get to decide what it feels like because it's not your brother that's not here anymore. You don't have the ability to stop, take a break, and put yourself in the other person's shoes and think about how your words are affecting them because you're angry, you're pissed off, you don't know how to unplug. For the record, not only am I not looking for any information or details about the Jimbo guy, but no one's offered them. Nobody. I've been in the Mean Girls chats. We've been panel whores. We've been hanging out. I've heard nothing bad said about the Jimbo guy. I just hear Connie fiercely white knighting for him. She's bringing him up all the time. All the time.
Oh, Silent Scroll, you have no idea. One of her chat. And Mo would tie me out. And I would fight to get back because I liked her. And, I'm looking back, I'm like, what the fuck did I?
Hey, COVID, thanks for stopping in. Have a good night. Get some sleep. You do early streams. I catch them in the morning when I'm getting up, getting ready. But yeah, have a great night. Let's get back to having fun. Yeah. Unfortunately, all of the people that want to have fun, that have actually moved on into other directions, that are talking about other things and people and events, it's like a weight attached to your ankle the size of Connie. Because right about the time you're having fun with people, here she comes. Look at my clips. These people are the devil. You can't like them. Please don't like them. Don't let them on your panel. Don't let them in your chat. Blah, 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 Nicolina. And I can understand why the Mean Girls are fed up with Connie. I can completely understand it. How do they not feel? How does Nicolina not feel smothered? And I'm not saying she's weak or that she's a victim. I'm not saying that she didn't do some fuck shit. She'll tell you that she did. But at this point today, they're no longer involved in that stuff. Connie's hatred and animosity has to feel like a weight around their neck, smothering them. If people don't like them, I don't like Bombshell. You don't see me in her chats. You don't see me jumping on panels where she's at. You don't see me going into shared spaces where she's at. For my own mental health, for my own enjoyment of a social media app, I'm not chasing her down. I've said my piece. I had my opinion. I walked away. This beating it into people's heads and shoving it down their throat does nobody any good, and it definitely doesn't do Connie any good. But we've reached a new low. See, it's my opinion that all the people that Connie demanded to choose sides, popped up in your freaking chats, popped up on your panel, and demanded that you not let the mean girls in your space. Nope. Don't even let them on your panel. They're so evil. They're so vile. They're so terrible. They're so bad. You can't even let them on your panel. Nowhere. We just ghost them out. But you're not willing to do that. You're not willing to ghost them out. See, I said, you don't get to tell me what to do and when to do it and how to do it. This is my space. And if I can say to them, I don't do the real life shit, no matter what. My dead son has been drugged from one side of the fucking internet to the other. Doxed out. The most terrible thing said in emails sent to me from Proton emails. I didn't go real life. I have said to them, I don't do that stuff. I understand what you're going through. This has been my experience. I choose peace or walking away. I'm not going to participate in the real life shit, not even accidentally. I'm not doing it. And I've been able to do that. Not one time have they come in the chat and been disrespectful to anybody. In fact, people in my chat that did not like them, did not trust them, the mean girls as a whole, that didn't want anything to do with them, are now cutting up in the chats, going to other chats. Connie, you're the only one that has an opinion that Nicolina and traders are so vile and so terrible and have done so much harm that they can never actually show their good side. It's you and your chat. That's it. It's you and your chat. And this isn't a hate, Connie. This is like, can you please hear that you may not be right? You may have been right months ago, but why are you not willing to ghost them when that's what you wanted everyone else to do?
I fight so hard. You go to her chat. That's ridiculous. And now I'm sitting here thinking, what made me ever think that she was legit? I'm sitting here thinking, I can't believe I fell for that shit. Because they want to call me disgusting. We are about to hear how disgusting Traders is. And yes, White Rabbit and Anissa. To use Traders Brothers' death. Yeah, I'm talking about it, bitch. To use Traders Brothers' death to put me down, to do whatever you were getting subs or whatever, White Rabbit. Yeah.
Is there a low that you won't go to? Make this make sense. Let's hear this again. No wonder why people hate you, Connie. No wonder why people say you are the hopeless person. No wonder why people are ready to completely turn on you. Do you even hear yourself when you're saying this stuff? Or are you just so angry and pissed off you have to react right now? Is there never a time that you feel so much anger that you know not to go live, you know not to hit the live button? Maybe a journal. I made that mistake a couple of times on the platform and said some really ugly, nasty shit too. You know how I can apologize for that? Because I don't do it. I don't do it again. Because I made a commitment to the moderators that I've been close with since day one, to the people in the chat that believe in me, to myself. I will never, ever, ever go live that angry ever again. I will not hit the live button. I will journal. I will go for a walk. I will go for a hike. I will go to the gym and work out. I'll pull out the yoga mat. I will do whatever I have to do to get that physical anger out of me to never make that mistake again. Do you hear yourself?
And yes, White Rabbit and Anissa. To use Traders Brothers' death. Yeah, I'm talking about it, bitch. To use Traders Brothers' death to put me down.
To use someone else's brother's death to put you down. Does that make sense to anybody? Asking you or telling you that you talking about it is not okay does not mean you're a victim. Yeah, Billy, let me pull up. I would personally file charges against this woman, hire a lawyer for harassment and emotional damage. Traders, you have all the videos to prove your case for your mom and yourself. It has to stop. I believe at this point, you probably have the right to do that. Absolutely. Good point, Billy. Yeah, I mean, it goes back to we're adults. Your anger and hatred and animosity for this person has gotten to the point that you sound like this when it should never be brought to the platform to begin with. If Traders wants to talk about her loss on her platform or her mother's platform, that stream, that conversation about her brother should have nothing to do with your internet battle. In fact, after having heard the stream on Traders yesterday, the one I keep dropping the link in the chat for, let me drop it and then pin it, because it's really important that you go and hear all of this. Okay, this is the live. I'm going to pin it to the top. And I want, if you have time, I encourage you to listen to all of it. I'm going to pin it to the top. She's about to say, Rabbit and Anissa used my brother's death to get to 1,000 subs. Yeah, that's the next side of it. First, to say that somehow talking about your brother's death is used against her is astounding to me. Like, what the fuck is that even about? Last night she accused me of doing that to Anissa. Yeah, I understand that completely. And because of this stream, that is why whenever I first started this stream, I said from now on out, when we talk about grief, we'll be doing it on private live streams where only the people that are participating can have the link to that, because I see what's happening here. If we have a grief stream and we have a conversation, Connie's everywhere that the mean girls are at. I don't know how she ever gets any sleep. So I no longer want to talk about grief and grieving and loss publicly because of that. Yeah. I'm going to let this play while I mute and run to the restroom quickly. And then I will be right back.
To do whatever you were getting subs or whatever, White Rabbit? Yeah. Disgusting. So let me collect my thought here and start the video, and you tell me what you heard. And I really want people to be honest. Don't just blow smoke up my ass.
No, I don't like him.
Okay, yeah, you're doing it because you don't like him.
But legitimately, I haven't covered Jimbo in like weeks. So why are we even having this conversation?
Because it perpetuates you keep it going, people keep it going. But you know what? You know what the big picture is, traders? What if we could stop doing this so your mama wouldn't have to cry when shit gets drug up that hurts her? People call him a pedophile.
Jimbo already extorted me. I already have the clip. He's already tried to extort me with my brother's murder. I say give it your best shot.
Understand. If you don't think that he did that out of
Jimbo
frustration,
want to make my mother cry, go ahead. That's you doing it, not me.
No. Do you understand that when shit goes like this, people are going to get hurt, whether you do it or Jimbo does it? A friend might do it. There's no
give
need
it your best shot, girl.
It can stop, traders. It can stop. It can.
Okay, thankfully I got back in time. So the timestamp for this part, if you want to go and listen to it, I don't want to bring that other conversation here. The timestamp is 27:32. You heard her say, this could all stop. This could all stop. Talking about Sapphire crying. To me, that's emotional extortion. And it has nothing to do with the fact that I love traders to death. Emotional extortion is just that. There's the timestamp for that. Right. Yeah. How about the fact that talking about people using someone else's loss in order to build a channel? Connie, you know drama sells. You know drama sells on this platform. You know that if you fire up a live stream all about drama and fighting and being chaotic and carrying on, that the people show up in your chat. So how about you can't really say that about someone else when you're doing it yourself? That could have been a very private conversation. That could have been an email. You could have emailed traders and said, please tell me how I'm doing this, or why do you feel like that? But you brought it to YouTube. You can't really say that about other people when you're doing it yourself. That's my opinion. How would you feel if it was your brother? I agree with you, Peachy. After this, the lesson I take away is that when she wants to be right and have the masses coming at you, she stops at nothing. The more people she drags into this situation and demands that they review the clips and that they have an unbiased opinion, and then they walk away not agreeing with Connie, they're now, she's running around throwing clips of one of my bad moments on a panel and sending it to the one guy. I mean, I see exactly how this unfolds. You become who she hates. This was the example of the emotional extortion. Let me get to the other part. I want the timestamp where she's doing that ridiculous, evil laugh. I agree with you. Who says that to a mom and a sister? I mean, it's an emotional extortion. Thank you, Catlin. Thank you. God love you. I was trying to listen in one ear. Oh, it's 11:11 now. Never mind. I gotcha. Okay. Yep, here it is. Okay. Considering what you've just heard, that this is someone else's tragedy. Here we go. I'm going to play this a couple times so that you can take it all in. This is what did it for me, Connie. This is what told me that you have turned into exactly the person that you claim everyone else is. No one deserves this. The way you're laughing and joking and caring, nobody deserves this, Connie. Nobody.
It's appropriate to say.
Did too, and this was worse than White Rabbit. Yeah, because you know what they did? They talked about her dead brother. They talked about her dead brother. They did. They talked about Mrs. dead brother. The Mean Girls absolutely did talk about her dead brother. Plus, they doxed her criminal record. They did what? Yes, they doxed her criminal record. They sure did. Did too, and this was worse than White Rabbit. Yeah, because you know what they did? They talked about her dead brother. They talked about her dead brother. They did. They talked about Mrs. dead brother. The Mean Girls absolutely did talk about her dead brother. Plus, they doxed her criminal record. They did what? Yes, they doxed her criminal record.
I caught something in the very beginning of this.
Plus,
in the very beginning, the very first part. Sorry, traders. Yeah, pure filth.
too, and this was worse than what.
Okay. So, in Connie's opinion, I'm going to say her words. What they have done to Anissa is worse than White Rabbit. I don't know the details. I don't want to know. But who is Connie to judge on who's been hurt more than someone else?
White Rabbit. Yeah, because you know what they did? They talked about too, and
It's appropriate to say.
did too, and this was worse than White Rabbit.
See, it's this power trip of who's right and who's wrong, and for me, it's so telling because it goes back to an opinion about somebody else, an opinion about the Jimbo person, and him being right or being wrong in a situation from years ago. Connie will stand and die on that hill no matter how many people she pushes away. And make no mistake, I don't have an opinion because it's not my story. It's not my business. That said, the fact that for Connie, every argument goes back to that. So because Traders, Nicolina, and the Mean Girls may or may not have the same opinion. I don't know. We don't talk about that. But if they do or if they don't, it's about Jimbo. It's not even about Connie. It's not about Connie. It's about Jimbo. I can understand if Jimbo has a lot of hatred or animosity. I can understand, somebody being called or accused or whatever. I get that. But Connie is the judge and the jury and the executioner here. That's the problem that I have. That if Connie says it's green and you don't agree with it, you're this, that, and whatever. Yes, Anissa. Yeah. I just seen you come in the chat. Was there a message before that? Oh, okay, you're back. Okay. All right. So I want to go back 5 seconds, hear that, and then listen to this part again. And listen, all of us have experienced loss. So please know that if this is too much, step away. Completely step away. But like Connie says, let me catch you up on, let me tell you the backstory on it. Again, it's her backstory. These are her words. In her opinion, this is all justified because one person has the right to be angry, but the other one doesn't. Every argument goes back. If Nicolina says, I lost my career, Connie says, but look what you put this Jimbo person through for 2 years. It can never be Nicolina and Jimbo having a conversation or Nicolina and Jimbo, deciding to have a truce because Connie won't stop. That's kind of the issue. Why does Connie think she's literally the moral police? I know we joke about that all the time. I don't get it. Her words. She's the person who's determining who has the right to be hurt more than who, or who was done worse than somebody else. Then the way she talks about Anissa's loss. To me, there's no explaining. There's no going back from the sheer disrespect. The vile, gross, ugly, nasty, complete disrespect. And Connie feels justified because of what somebody said about Jimbo or what somebody believes about Jimbo, who I've only ever heard from Connie.
Yeah, because you know what they did? They talked about her dead brother. Oh, they talked about her dead brother. Oh, they did. They talked about Anissa's dead brother. The Mean Girls absolutely did. Talked about her dead brother. Mm-hmm. Plus, they doxed her criminal records. They did what? Yes, they doxed her criminal records. Mm-hmm, they sure did. It too. Anissa was worse than White Rabbit. Yeah, because you know what they did? They talked about her dead brother. They talked about her dead brother. They did. They talked about Anissa's dead brother. The main.
I don't want to play it anymore. But do you see where I'm coming from? When you're angry and you're pissed off and you hurl insults and anger and animosity and you tell somebody like, I hope you die or whatever it is. And then later when you're not angry and you regret it and you want to say, I probably shouldn't have said that. You don't get to decide if the person you hurled that at is still hurting or not. This is like the ultimate low. I say this all the time. If someone's behaviors are that bad, if they do enough damage to people, that damage speaks for itself. People may not want to jump in the middle of it, fire up live streams and give opinions about it. But when you have to do this, when you hurt somebody this deeply, this low, because you want everyone to hate them, you're wrong. You're automatically in the wrong. At this point, it doesn't even matter what Anissa did or what White Rabbit did or what Traders did or what Nicolina did. This is so much more ridiculous, hurtful, traumatizing, not just to Anissa and not just to Traders. If your goal was to hurt Anissa and Traders, you definitely accomplished that. And I so hope that you're proud of yourself. But do you know how many people are going to hear this and think, wow, that's how she feels about people she doesn't like? She's mocking, laughing, and joking and making fun of the loss of someone's family member, someone's brother, their best friend. You're not safe. Nobody who's going through real life trauma is going to be like, yeah, I want to go make friends with Connie. No one. Because everybody has lost somebody or will lose somebody, and there's Connie. It's not the mean girls running around pulling people together saying, hey, let's go after Connie, or let's go after Jimbo, or let's go after this person or that person. It's not them doing it. So this whole time, Connie's white knighting on behalf of Jimbo, creating the divide between everybody. Both sides of that community have done some fuck shit. It's not been done to me. I didn't do any of it. It's not my right to judge it. Hey, DC, I don't have an opinion on who should apologize and who should accept one. But if that happens, why aren't we celebrating that? Why don't we let people move forward in a positive direction? Why do we have the weight of Connie wrapped around their necks, drowning them when Connie's just as bad? Do you see what Connie is doing right now because she hates traitors and Anissa? And I don't know if this is because Anissa chose, to be friends with somebody that Connie didn't agree that Anissa should be friends with, but that's kind of what it sounded like to me. But again, I don't know all the details. I'm not going to go research it. This was enough for me. I'm not going to go research who's friends with who's not, who doesn't like somebody, who said something mean. All of that shit is fucking irrelevant when I hear Connie acting like this about somebody else's deceased brother, who she doesn't know, who she doesn't like because of some shit that went down on the freaking internet. When both sides have lost, both sides have gone through some shit, both sides have hurled, they've given, and they've taken. This outweighs that. When people are gone, they're no longer with us, and they don't come back. You know what we have left of them? Their memory, their honor, and their dignity in death. And in seconds, Connie disrespected all of those things because she doesn't like traitors and Anissa. Disrespected their brother's death, both of their deaths, their memory, completely disrespected them on a live stream with an audience listening. And that chat is nasty. That chat, I went in respectful one day and got nothing but hate because I didn't agree. If your goal was to hurt them, you accomplished that. I hope that you're proud of yourself. If your goal was to make them feel terrible, you did that. Obviously. I hope you feel good about that. I hope that you finally found the lowest of the low to go to make you feel better as a human being. I hope that you finally got that gratification. But what about all the people that you didn't intend to hurt or trigger? What about them? What about the people who thought you were actually a good person, Connie? What about them? Do you think they feel safe or secure being anywhere near you? Because the minute they disagree with you, or the minute they're seen in another chat saying hello to somebody that you don't like, the minute your spider web of who said what and who did what and all of your algorithms of predictable occurrences or whatever based on past anything, they're targeted. How are you safe on the internet to be trusted? You've talked about integrity, being a good person, being kind, having a moral compass. You have none of those things. That shit went out the window when you could say this. When you could say this, I don't know how you can look in the mirror. And yeah, you could be like, oh, they're clutching their pearls. They're clutching their pearls. You damn right I am. You damn right I am. Because this isn't your loss. This isn't your grief. This isn't your life. This is theirs. This is theirs to own. And it's quite a fucking burden. And it makes me wonder if you've ever lost anybody. I understand that you've gone through things in life. This takes the cake, Connie. You don't have the ability to be a good, kind person, good character, and have this about people who wake up every day without somebody that they can't imagine living the rest of their life without. It's not possible. Go on and say, well, you sat on a panel and said this about Skull fucking Bombshell. Yeah, I did. After my son was dragged for months. And it's not an apology that I owe to you, Jenna, Purple, or anybody else. Those words weren't said to you. How do you come back from this? Oh, you're the moral police, right? You don't have to come back. This is okay. It's justified because they hurt Jimbo, because they talked shit about Jimbo for 2 years. They said something that you think is unforgivable about Jimbo. So payback, right? Payback. I'm getting to the next clip. Thank you, Pendar. I appreciate you. Hey, Aaron. I agree with you, Kels. That when the anger gets to you that much and you choose to go live rather than calm off or cool off and come back with a clearer head. Okay. Here's the next part. And I'm taking the screen down because my friend who I care deeply about was very hurt yesterday. And I'm not putting that version of her all over the internet. I'm not doing that to her. She showed that she's human. She's a fierce warrior. She's a force to be reckoned with. She's human. Everybody has a breaking point. Everybody has a point where it becomes too big, becomes too much. Connie put her there. And I won't disrespect her by showing that side of her all over the internet. That's the shit Connie does. That's the unforgivable, disgusting. To see someone's pain and find joy in that makes you one of the worst human beings on earth. It makes you that bad. It makes you that bad. And I won't do that. And I don't appreciate that it was done. I think you're disgusting. And Connie, you're the person that will later run around and talk about how somebody did something to you, how somebody hurt you, or they hurt your feelings, or they embarrassed you. I don't care. After this, the joy, the laughter at seeing two women in a very emotional state, you found pleasure in that. You're the evil person. You can't run around talking about how nasty and vile and gross the Mean Girls are when you do this. You can't do it. So here's the part where, and I just want you to hear it in her own words, where Connie says, clearly I showed the truth. Clearly I showed the truth. And she's talking about how she doesn't talk about traitors. I hate even saying this, murdered brother. But the words need to be said because it's how Connie says them. That's how Connie respects Traitor's brother and Sapphire's son. Hey, Gray, appreciate you too. Hey, Jess, 23. Yes, thank you, Lily Rochelle. Never be afraid to forgive as much as you can and apologize as much as you should. I mean, don't we grow from mistakes? Isn't it the bad times that we really learn who we are and how to be better? Isn't it when you're at your weakest moments that you really find out how strong you are? It's been in my life when life's kicked me down the worst, when I've felt like there's no coming back, or there's no picking myself back up. It's those moments that I really learned how to adjust my strengths and weaknesses. If you can't forgive, you don't grow from that. If you can't understand how you played a part in a situation in order for it to get as bad as it did, if you're the person that's constantly standing across the room, pointing your finger at the other person and you're not willing to actually look in the mirror and accept that you had ownership in getting it there, you are the problem. If every time you have an argument or a disagreement with somebody, your knee-jerk reaction is to point the finger at them and blame the other person, you never grow. You will remain stagnant exactly where you are. You'll never grow. You'll never be bigger. You'll never be better. You're always going to be where you're at. And Connie, that's all you've done. How many panels have you gone to? How many people have you pushed away? How many people have you turned on? How many people have you declared war on because they don't agree with you? But you're the only person that's not willing to look in the mirror and see how you've played a role in all of this too. So how do you grow from that? You don't. I want you to listen here how Connie says she clearly showed that she didn't talk about Trader's brother.
But it's not hidden anymore. It's not working anymore. People are seeing clearly now. Clear as a bell. And nobody's
That's what
worried
I'm-
about it.
That's what I'm stuck in, though. I'm stuck with that. Them saying that I used her brother, I weaponized her brother, and I clearly didn't. I showed that I clearly didn't. Her own video showed I clearly didn't. But just the people that I respect.
Anything that has anything to do with anybody's families or whatever, I think the best thing to do, honest to God, whatever Esto, the best thing to do is just shut it all down and out. If people are going to believe what they're going to believe, or they whatever, it is what it is.
I
think
know
things
you're
like
right
that,
about that. I know you're right about that.
if you can pick anything to just
Mm.
let it float off into the universe and be done.
Just-
that is
I know you're
absolutely the one
right.
I would pick.
I know you're right. I know, because it's one of the things you can't win. You can't win.
No,
But
there's no
I'm
way that-
still, I'm stuck. I'm so stuck there. And I just, that's why I've been in the bushes. People think there's other things going on, but no, that's my hill to die on. I don't know how to handle it.
Thank you for the
There you go. So I just want to break this down a little bit because there's some things that really stuck out to me.
do is just shut it all down and nobody's
That's what
worried
I'm-
about it.
In the chat.
Clear as a bell. And nobody's
That's what
worried
I'm-
about it.
Okay, so in the beginning, when the white rabbit person is talking about people are seeing this, clear as bell, people are seeing this. You're right, they are. See, Connie's one jumping up on all the panels. We've heard Nicolina say, I want a truce, I want a truce, I want a truce. We've heard this. And Connie wants it to come with conditions. Connie wants to be able to document going forward. Connie doesn't document, Connie stalks. Connie clips to be right. Connie doesn't clip to show the truth because there's clearly two sides to the situation. So White Rabbit is right. People are waking up to it. And Connie, I think, is on this relentless path of self-destruction because people are seeing for themselves that there are two sides and that not one side was worse than the other side. Both sides of this battle for the last year, 2 years, however long it's been, both sides have done fuck shit to each other. So where Connie is completely invested in being right and winning for one side, she's not willing to understand that people that are not invested in this situation, like me, I'm not invested in the past of whatever went on between everybody. I have no opinion of all the people that were involved in all of that stuff. I did see both sides of it. And I can't say the mean girls are shit, fucking evil, terrible, don't deserve a second chance. When the other side cost, they did, it was equilaterally. It was a back and forth. It was a constant. You can't pick and choose. Connie picks and chooses the Jimbo person. And no matter what he says or does, he's in the right. I get that. You have your BFF. Whatever. That's cool. But you're investing 100% of every bit of yourself to be right for one side, not willing to acknowledge that the other side has also lost. They've also suffered. They've also gone through the shit. It's a back and forth. It's a community thing. One side of them are now saying, we don't want to do that anymore. And for weeks, they haven't. They haven't done that. Let's say they go back to doing that shit. Here's what Connie can't handle. Hey, good Nanya, how are you? Here's what Connie can't handle. That those of us that have never participated in that stuff do have the right to set boundaries and coexist with people that Connie doesn't like, whether she likes it or not. Good to see you, good Nunya. Hello, seriously. I think so too. Connie needs to take a long break from YouTube and reevaluate, but she won't and likely doesn't care how much she's hurt certain people. I couldn't agree with that more. It's no longer about how she hurts them. It's just about hurting them. That she actually felt joy and was laughing at the pain that they were experiencing because of her says everything. I don't come on here every day. You don't see me in chats every day. I take the break. I unplug. I walk away. I'm not here every day. Because when it's toxic like this, it does you no good personally. None. I don't know how Connie has the time to invest in having hundreds of playlists all dedicated to Nicolina, Traders, and the Mean Girls. Right. When it comes to what Connie has done to the Mean Girls and what the Mean Girls have done to Connie, who am I to judge who's hurt? Like I said, if I'm angry and pissed off and I holler out at Lee Marie and call her all kinds of vile names because I'm pissed off, and then tomorrow I want to apologize, I don't get to decide if Lee is still hurt about what I said today. Lee's the one that gets to decide if she's still hurt. And if I apologize and Lee doesn't accept that, that's her right. I know to avoid Lee. Come back at another time and try again if she's important to me. Connie doesn't understand how to adult like that. It has to be agree with me or you're part of the problem and then I'm going to go on the attack with you. I forgot about that. Admits we've never done anything to her actually because we haven't. Well, that's why when I watched all of the clips on both sides, Connie's constant rebuttal is Jimbo. 100%. It doesn't matter what you come at her with. It has no bearing. Every single person that she's white knighting for goes back to Jimbo. It doesn't matter. If you say, like saying, if you want your mom to stop crying about her deceased son, stop talking about Jimbo. It always goes back to Jimbo 100% of the time. The problem is no one's going to agree. They're firm in their opinions. The Mean Girls have an opinion about the Jimbo person and they're going to stand in it, but they're not smearing his name all over the internet. If they did that for a year or two, they did that for a year or two. Today, they're not doing that. Today, they don't speak about him. I've not heard any of them talk about him outside of the clips from months or years ago. But Connie will rebut every argument with Jimbo. I think the hard part is that she uses others' hurt to go after the woman. Mean. Not woman. Okay. I think the hard part is she uses others' hurt to go after the Mean Girls. That's wrong to me. In my opinion, give them a platform. If not creators, and they want to speak, sure, but don't use them. Couldn't agree more. That's my whole thing. Like yesterday. So this is my opinion, Nunya. My opinion is that the Mean Girls have decided that they just want to go back to having fun. That they don't want to be in this war anymore. Nicolina has asked for a truce. She said, I did all this shit. Trader said, I did all that shit. I think they both even went to Queen Bees and said that. They've been everywhere and said, yes, I did that. I own it. Here's the video. Here's the proof. I apologize. I know it was wrong, but I don't want to do it anymore. I just want to go back to having fun. That's it. I've even heard Nicolina say, I understand if you don't want to accept an apology. I just want you to hear it. But it doesn't matter. They're not allowed to apologize because when they went to Queen Bees, here comes Connie for 2 minutes, play this clip, watch these clips. Then she starts going to people that are in Queen Bees community. Like, can you be unbiased? And can you watch these clips and do? No one wants to do any of that. The people that have not been hurt by the Mean Girls, the people that have not been attacked by the Mean Girls, don't want to pass judgment on the Mean Girls if they're apologizing and saying, we just want to have fun. Besides that, it's not those of us that have not been hurt by the Mean Girls that are owed an apology or that are in a position of accepting an apology or saying, yes, you've apologized enough, now go have fun. We have nothing to do with it. It's not ours to own. It's not ours to forgive. But if we can establish boundaries and be like, if I can say, I don't do that stuff here and I don't want to do that stuff here, and they accept that, there's no reason that we can't join in scavenger hunts and, and have fun together. It's Connie that won't allow that. Connie is at the point now, she's so focused on proving that they're not worthy of a second chance, that they're the worst on the internet, that you have to cut them, ghost them out, ghost them. Don't let them in your chats. Don't let them on your panel. Ghost them. But she's not willing to ghost them. She's not willing to do that. Here's how low she stooped. That 2 of them who've lost brothers in tragic accidents, she's sitting on a panel laughing about it. That's, to me, there's no coming back from that. To me, you're not safe. You're so hyper-focused on ridding the internet of the people that you don't like. You're willing to laugh at the pain of them having lost brothers. So then if for some reason you and I don't agree, I get the same treatment from you. Or if Lee doesn't agree, she gets the same. I agree with you. The only way is to ignore it and move forward. Yeah. Hey, Shift Happens. How are you? Yeah. And here's the jacked up part about it. I met traders because of this. Traders came to me from a whole different situation and said, hey, I've heard all of this stuff. It doesn't sound like you. Can I hear your side of it? And I said, here's the links. Watch it, watch it for yourself. And that's a whole nother story or situation. But, we've become friends. I respect the hell out of traders. I know more about her from a very personal level off of the platform. I have a lot of respect for her. That makes me enemy now too. Now I'm also I'm not allowed to be friends because of what traders did last year to somebody else. Okay, whatever. So the Mean Girls moved on to a completely different direction. They've been walking a different path, having fun, doing their thing. And so now it's about the death of their brothers. Now Connie's sitting on a panel laughing at their pain. I think she justifies laughing at their pain due to the pain they've allegedly caused others. But someone else's pain is not ours to own. Absolutely, I agree with you. But how is that? I agree with you. Yeah, it's not ours to own. At the same point, that's me. That's how Connie is. That for all of the screaming and ranting and raving and going on about how these people have done all this real life stuff, that these people will go to, there's no low that they won't go to in order to incite pain or to hurt people. Connie's the same way. And that tells me I don't want anywhere around her, because the minute that I disagree with her, or that I don't snap into the position that she wants me to be in, or I don't jump high enough, or I don't respond fast enough, or I don't agree, or I'm not a yes ma'am or a no ma'am, or and part of the echo chamber, she gets that mad at me. What does she do? Connie couldn't elicit a response with regular drama, which is what she's been saying this whole time that she's not going to do. That she's not going to do. And I think that a lot of this has stemmed from all of the places that Connie used to go, all the chats, all the panels, all the quote unquote fun. She's pushed herself out of those spaces because she can't have conversation or fun. Her entire YouTube existence is to punish the Mean Girls, where I come up here to have fun. I don't stream every day. I'm a panel whore for a couple of weeks. I go here, I go there, I do my own thing. Different communities, various different communities, because it's fun for me to be here. For Connie, it really is like a full-time job. You know what I mean? So all the places where Connie used to have fun, she's no longer having fun there, or goes there, or is welcome to go there, because she's put those channels into the position of choosing sides, even when they don't want to choose sides. Anyone should have the right to say, it's not my fuck shit to carry. I don't want to own it. I have a problem with people always pointing the finger at other people saying how terrible they are when the person pointing the finger does the same thing. I know 2 people on this platform that have never doxed anybody, and that's me and Nunya. I've never doxed a soul. Never. Never have I doxed, not even accidentally. And I know that Nunya has never doxed anybody, even accidentally. I'm sure that there's other people. Earth has never doxed anybody. I'm sure that there's a lot of other people. But for Connie to go panel hopping about how the Mean Girls are just the evil, the worst of the worst, everything that they've done is beyond evil. She's doing exactly what she accuses them of doing. Yeah. And yes, yesterday was terrible. Me either. Never have, never will. I'll unplug. I'll burn this bitch to the ground before I stoop to that level. Yep, I'll never do it.
That's what I'm stuck in, though. I'm stuck with that. Them saying that I used her brother, I weaponized her brother, and I clearly didn't. I showed that I clearly didn't. Her own video showed I clearly didn't. But
it's about interpretation. You can't say her video clearly shows that I didn't. It's how she feels. And somebody shouldn't have to follow you around from panel to panel, chat to chat, to be like, can you just stop mentioning? Can you stop talking about it? Just stop. That results in 9 videos and a playlist. You know what I mean? Eliza's never doxed anybody. I got you. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of us that haven't done. I guess there's a lot more than I thought. And yeah, Caitlin had a point up here. And I witnessed this. I witnessed it. Yeah, wanted to be mean. Where's it at? I think it was Caitlin that said that. That they have been ignoring it. And they've been talking about other things. They've gone a whole other way and talked about other things. And Connie won't let it go. She says, I'll die on this hill. Meaning I'm not going to stop talking about Trader's brother / Sapphire's son. I'm not going to stop talking about it, because now the focus is having to beat it into the skull of every person that she comes in contact with that Traders is making up some kind of concocted story to make Connie the bad guy, accusing Connie of talking shit about. Traders isn't accusing Connie of talking shit about her brother. Traders is saying, stop talking about my brother, period. Nobody wants someone that hates them to be carrying around the story about their lost loved one. It's not normal, and no one should have to demand that respect. It should just be common courtesy across the board. If their behaviors are as terrible and vile as you want them to be, you shouldn't have to bring up dead relatives. And everybody says that, but here's Connie doing it.
just honestly, people that I respect.
Anything that has anything to do with anybody's families or whatever, I think the best thing to do, honest to God, whatever is though, the best thing to do is just shut it all down and out. If people are going to believe what they're going to believe, or they whatever, it is what it is.
And she's on a panel with her friend, and her friend is telling her, if it has anything to do with people's families, just shut it down. Don't talk about it. Don't mention it. Don't bring it up. And here's Connie's reaction to that.
I know you're right about that. I know you're right about that.
If you can pick anything to just let it float off into the universe and be done,
I know you're right. I know you're right. I know, because it's one of the things you can't win. You can't win.
No,
but
there's
I'm stuck. I'm so stuck there, and I just, that's why I've been in the bushes. People think there's other things going on, but no, that's my hill to die on. I don't know how to handle it.
She says, that's my hill to die on. Meaning, here we go again with another round of Connie jumping on all the panels, going into all the chats, saying, they're lying. I'm not talking about Trader's brother. I'm not talking about Trader's brother. Well, here's a playlist. 9 videos. Updated October 9th. On Connie's channel. How would somebody not be offended by that? How would somebody whose brother was recently murdered not be offended that someone who despises them, has nothing good or positive to say about them, has a playlist on their channel about their brother? I can understand exactly why Traders is so and Sapphire both are so upset and pissed off about it. I can 100%. I can get that. And we'll go back to hey, Eliza, how are you? Absolutely ridiculous. And she has the audacity to say, well, I don't understand why people are outraged about this. Because it's not your story. It's not your business. It's not yours to own. And no one should have to tell you to just stop. If this was a time for Connie to just stop picking this subject, go back to not liking them. Go back to clipping them. But no one should have to say, leave Trader's brother, Sapphire's son, and leave Anissa's brother out of your YouTube warfare. No one should have to say that.
Are y'all ready for some disgusting fucking shit? We'll do it over here where nobody's gaslighting, nobody's distracting, nobody's running interference, and nobody's trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Yeah, I fuck.
So it's all about building a channel. So while she's accusing other people of talking about two people's family tragedies, it's exactly what she's doing. And listen to her voice. This is just yesterday or the day before. The link to this live stream is pinned at the top of the chat.
Nobody's distracting, nobody's running interference, and nobody's trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Yeah, I fucking said it. And I stand by it. Knock me in my head if you ever see me trying to give Anissa or White Rabbit a second chance.
So two people that were best friends or really close friends that had a falling out, a disagreement. They didn't like each other. They shit talked a little bit or whatever it is. Connie has a problem with that. Anissa accepting an apology and making an apology to some or all of the mean girls. Connie has a problem with that. It's about Connie being right and everybody agreeing with Connie. And because Anissa and some or all of the mean girls were able to talk out their differences or their issues and become friends and hang out and be social and have fun, Connie is butthurt about that. Connie is pissed off about that. Connie is so gross that yesterday, when Traders and Anissa had a live stream, very emotional live stream, talking about how this platform, specifically Connie, will not stop talking about Trader's brother, Connie starts talking about Anissa's brother. Connie starts talking about details about Anissa's life that is not my business. I didn't know anything about it. Half the people, the majority of people in the chat had no idea. And she's just throwing out little details about things that Anissa's going through in her personal life that's not YouTube business. Friends for 2 years, real life friendship. Yeah, and my thing is, it's not my business. I know that was from August. Okay, I know that Anissa and White Rabbit were very, very good friends. They had a falling out. Anissa and some or all of the mean girls had a chance to work out their differences, and they're friends again. And Connie has problem with it. Anytime somebody falls out with the mean girls or says that they don't like the mean girls, guess who's there to sweep them up and get all of their details and their stories and then puts them into clips? Probably the same way that anyone finds out anything about anybody on the platform. The minute somebody finds out that somebody had a falling out or they're no longer friends, here comes the enemies. Give me all the dirt. Why does people feel it's okay to be so hateful online? I mean, there's just some lows that should never be accepted. But this is Connie in all her glory when she doesn't get her way, when people get together, when they adult and they forgive and they forget and they move forward. Connie doesn't like that because everyone has to hate the mean girls. It's quite insane if you ask me. It's quite insane. Let me add, especially when you hear Connie say from her own mouth that they've never done anything to her. It isn't about what they've done to her. It's about what they've done to other people. It's about fights that they've had with other people. Connie doesn't see that they've give and they've received. I mean, that's how the battles have been on both sides.
Listen, I have said
let me find the spot and then I'll tell you the backstory.
Yeah, let me get to it. It's at. Let me get to that
people on
part.
my panel to ever side with me. Hello.
No, it's before that. Hold on, let me find it. Here it is. This is where Connie's anger has gotten her.
It too, and this was worse than White Rabbit. Yeah, because you know what they did? They talked about her dead brother. They talked about her dead brother. They did. They talked about Mrs. dead brother. The mean girls absolutely did. Talked about her dead brother. Plus, they doxed her criminal records. They did what? Yes, they doxed her criminal records. They sure did. It too, and this was worse than White Rabbit. Yeah, because you know what they did? They talked about her dead brother. They talked about her dead brother. They did. They talked about Mrs. dead brother. The mean girls absolutely did. Talked about her dead brother. Plus, they
like that's where Connie's hatred has gotten her. It's gotten her right there. Okay. I'm going to go back to saying this. If you're not friends with this group of people, Connie, it's really not your place to decide who gets to be friends with them or who doesn't. I feel like we're talking about junior high mentality kind of shit. When somebody accepts the mean girls today, who they are today, versus who you want them to be from their past experiences or bullshit from last year, you don't get to decide that. And by me saying that I can set boundaries and have fun, and we've had a blast the last few weeks. We've had a ton of fun. There's been a little bullshit here or there. That's YouTube, right? You can't have fun without bullshit. I mean, you can until people like Connie pop in. It's kind of like, if Nunya's still here, just an example of how this information gets shared and passed around. The people that there's been a little issue with lately, Jenna and Purple. So Jenna fires up a live stream and Connie offers to send clips to Jenna to play on her live stream. It's all in comment sections. I believe it's later in this live stream. Let me look. I believe it's later in this live stream. Yeah, I think it is. I think it's later in this live stream where there's the comment section where Jenna is offering to play clips. So Connie says, well, I'll send them to you. That clip was a 3-hour video of Connie talking about Trader's family tragedy. And Jenna played that with little to no commentary. I believe she fell asleep several times. So here's another community that's getting this version of Traders and her brother and him being gone, and an accusation that who's weaponizing. You see what I mean? Information getting shared to people that don't have any business having it. I think that someone has the right to say to YouTube, if I talk about my son over here to my community, with my community, if I'm such a terrible person, you should be able to call me out on those behaviors without talking about me talking about my son. I think Connie has reached that next low. And it goes back to apologies. It's not Connie's job or responsibility. She really doesn't even have the right to have an opinion about people offering or accepting apologies, in my opinion. It shouldn't come to that. I took notes on all the clips that I've been watching over the last couple of weeks. Oh, there's a section. I'm not going to play it. I'll tell you where the timestamp is. The timestamp is about. I'll show you, but I'm not going to play it because it's a long section of this, and I know there's other people that want to go live tonight. I didn't plan on being live this long. So here's another clip of. This is at the 3-hour, 50-minute mark. This is a community post that traders had made. It had nothing to do with Connie, that Connie made about Connie. An example of they're trying to move forward in a different direction. They're trying to, they're having fun. They're kind of playing around in different communities. They're, they asked for forgiveness. They asked for a truce. They apologized. If Connie doesn't want to accept that, or Connie's chat doesn't want to accept that, that's okay. Nobody's judging that. But they should be allowed to move on into different communities, different activities, be friends with whoever the hell they want to, without Connie being like this huge weight wrapped around their neck that's choking them. It's the last few weeks. I've hung out with traders quite a bit. I've been in several of the Mean Girls chats, and I see them interacting with other communities. I see them involved in other activities. I see them doing other things. And the minute that they're moving forward in a positive direction, engaged with other people, Connie has to run in front of them and drop all of this shit and be like, hey, I need to warn you who you're getting involved with. I can understand that if the Mean Girls today were doing the same shit that they were doing 6 months ago or a year ago. Connie doesn't get to decide who gets a second chance, who's allowed to be forgiven. Connie doesn't get to decide who's good, who's bad, when Connie's doing the shit that she's been recently doing, which is sitting on a panel laughing about 2 of those people, 2 of the Mean Girls tragedies. 3, we're talking about Trader's brother, Sapphire's son, and Anissa's brother. To me, in my opinion, when you can't go at somebody without using their deceased family members, without using their death, if you have to go panel to panel to panel to say, I'm not talking about Trader's murdered brother, when you have a playlist of videos not talking about Trader's family tragedy, the self-awareness is out the door. You are so involved. You are too included. At some point, you have to realize that you have a problem. When everybody else is able to sit down and look at each other and have those hard conversations, and then take a long look in the mirror and realize what part they played in getting to the spot where they've been at, and decide that they want to do better. Who is Connie to prevent that from happening? Who is Connie to make it her daily mission every day, 24/7, 365, all the time, to be one step ahead of them? How is that Connie's business? Connie makes it her business. When you have that much time to have 50, 11, 30, 80, 70 playlists titled Nicolina, how does anyone take her serious when she's talking about how they're so terrible? I don't understand it. I don't agree with it. That's my opinion about it. And I don't care what she has to say about it. I know exactly what's going to happen because I've been watching her. I've watched her clips. I know exactly what happens. I'm now considered part of the mean girls, even though I'm not. And stream after stream after stream after stream after stream, going in the chats. That's what she's been doing over the last few weeks. It just shows who she is. It just shows who she is. If I have the ability, again, I'm gonna say it for the last time. If I can set those boundaries and say, I don't do this and I don't condone that and I won't participate in that. And I can set those boundaries. And the people that I'm talking to agree to those terms and we cut up and we have fun and we get together and whatever, they respect those boundaries. Connie doesn't get to say if that's okay or not. She doesn't. And if that makes her so pissed off that she throws me into the equation and then goes on a mission to, Stephanie's trash, she's evil, I never knew anything about her, blah, 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 blah. So be it. I don't have to listen to it at all. Really healthy interest in hobbies. I agree. Hey, Willow. Is Willow here? Willow came from the movie Mean Girls, more or less a joke from what I gather. So I asked about that recently, and I think it was Rap who had cracked a joke and called them mean girls, a group of mean girls or something, and they kind of ran with it and it stuck. It kind of stuck. You guys want some humor now? Before we move on? Nanya, you can record this if you want to, because it's funny.
In a minute, I'ma need a sentimental man or woman to pump me up. Feeling fussy, walking in my Balenciennes, trying to bring out the fabulous. Cause I give a fuck way too much. I'ma need like 2 shots in my cup. Wanna get up.
You can't tell me that's not funny. Well, listen, I just wanted to, isn't that funny? I can send it to you if you want to. I can send it to you. Is Traders?
Hi, Vilomah. How are you? Vilomah, you are so sweet, I swear. So, I don't trust anybody that doesn't like Vilomah. I mean that. It's Vilomah, no, I don't trust you if you don't like Vilomah.
Woo, she's great. I love it. I love having those little clips. She is really sweet. She's very sweet. Yeah, I call it the twerk and turkey. The twerk and turkey. Well, look, it was not easy to see 2 people sitting on a panel yesterday that were obviously in need of a break from their enemies talking about their tragedies. Nobody deserves that at the end of the day. Nobody deserves it. A good rule of thumb, if you wouldn't want it done to you, and I know it sounds cliche, but seriously, if you're considering doing something and you know it would hurt you or someone that you care about, you probably shouldn't do it. I think it's time that we start ghosting the people that go that low. I'm never ever going to be okay with somebody using deceased family members, threatening to get people's, family members, children's autopsy records. I'm never going to be okay with any of that stuff. I'm going to have an opinion about it. Nobody has to agree with my opinion. Nobody has to accept my opinion. Nobody even has to hear my opinion. People like Connie, this is a Connie-free zone from now on out because she's proven herself to be exactly what she claims to be fighting against without owning any of it. When you have people that can stand up and say, yeah, I fucked up. I did this. I did that. I made the mistake. I shouldn't have done that. I regret it. I apologize. It's easier to accept them and understand that they really don't want to go back to that community of hurting each other. They just want to have fun. They're trolling. And I agree. The old traders would have ripped some ass. She would have completely floored Connie and anyone who was condoning or co-signing Connie's behavior. Traders hasn't done that. She actually showed her vulnerable side yesterday, which, if you care about Traders, that was hard to watch. It was hard to watch. Outward expressions of grief and anger. That was hard. It's hard to watch anybody that you care about suffer like that and go through that. And it shouldn't have even had to come to that. It should have never had to come to over and over and over again, asking, begging, demanding, pick your weapons, but don't let them be deceased family members. That was rough. That was rough. And again, I'm not playing those portions. I had to step away several times yesterday. I wouldn't want to see anybody in pain like that. The link is pinned to the top for the full story, for all of the parts of Connie that she doesn't want the rest of the world to see. Click the link and spend the time to watch it. It was very heartbreaking. Very. Maybe just an alt burner account. Traders is I'm okay to drop links if anyone's live right now. Nunya, you going live? Anybody? Before we end, is anyone going live? Yeah, I agree. I mean, I was expecting it. I was expecting to call you and be like, "Can we talk about this?" And I can even understand feeling the right to do so. I mean, you have every right to, but you didn't, and that's what matters. You have apologized, owned it, and said that you want to have fun and that you don't want to fall back into old habits, and you've stuck with that. And I think people should acknowledge that. I 100% think people should acknowledge that. Connie, there's not even any hate towards you. I just don't think that you're seeing yourself through clear lenses. I think that you have this so much anger and hatred and animosity that you feel justified in all the stuff that you're doing. You're not taking steps back. You're so emotionally invested that you have one goal and one intention, and that is to hurt, destroy, remove from the internet, probably the world. And I think you're the problem at this point. I think that your obsession is real and it's not a joke. And you admitted that you told everybody that you were going to take a break, but that you didn't do that. You were still in the chat. You were still clipping. Yes, Nunya. Let me make sure I read that question right. The link pinned will show me what happened last night. Yes. Yeah, the link that's pinned at the top is a live stream from last night where Traders finally had enough and said, okay, using my deceased brother and now Anissa's deceased brother and laughing and mocking the grief and the pain and the sense of entitlement and being able to say what you want about somebody else's deceased brothers, in this case, also Sapphire's deceased son. All of that stuff is in the live stream from last night, and there's probably more on Trader's channel. Last night really is eye-opening when you hear Connie in her own words, mocking and laughing, fake gasping. Talk about selective outrage. There's a lot of it there. Yeah. And the truth of it is when you're not emotionally invested in situations like this, it's really easy to sit back and just observe and see Connie thinks that she's not guilty. She thinks that she's not as bad as she claims everyone else to be. But actions prove a lot louder. But not having the ability to say that to her without then being attacked is pretty telling. So there's that too. Hey, Doohickey. Did I say hi? I think I said hello to you. Hey, randomly Ash. Good to see you. Limey. Sorry about the wrench. I had no idea that it was gone. But we got it fixed now. Traders, did you or Anissa want a link? I did say that. I forgot. My bad. We can do an open panel for a little bit. Might be someone who doesn't take this lightly. Oh, absolutely. You know, yeah, absolutely. There's people in what we call the grief community that aren't publicly speaking in chats because of stuff like this, stuff like Purple and Jenna. They're not talking about how they feel because too many people know about their loss, and they feel that's the best way for them to handle it right now. Who am I to tell them different? There might be someone who doesn't take this lightly. Who lost their own brother, and he might retaliate on her in real life. And for what, Connie? Because you're mad at Nicolina, right? I mean, that's what's next. Like, if we haven't reached, that's the same live, Nanya. There's clips of that. If you scroll to like 22 minutes ish, it's around 22 minutes. That's where it starts with Connie on panel with White Rabbit. If you scroll to 32 minutes, that's where she's mocking and fake gasping. So 22 minutes and then 32 minutes. And then further on, like 3 hours and something through it, about 48 minutes in is where you'll hear her say she clearly shows that she didn't talk about those are just points I made about those are her opinions. Those are not facts. That's her opinion about something that she clearly showed. 3 hours and roughly 3 hours and 40 minutes, and you'll see the screenshot. 3 hours and 50 minutes, and you'll see the screenshots of a community post that traders had made that had nothing to do with Connie. It was a community post about something entirely different, and it was a troll move. And Connie took a select portion of that and made it about her. And let me grab Trader's channel link, because if you wanted to, you probably do something similar to what I do. I watch a clip, but then I go find the live stream where that clip was taken from to get full context, to make sure, because we know that there's people who clip to be right, and then there's people who clip to show behaviors. I'll be honest with you, all this time, well, up until, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 months ago, I would have taken Connie at her clip, meaning I would have taken that clip for word. But having understood that she's fiercely defending this person named Jimbo, and I say that based on all of her rebuttals go back to, well, look what they did to Jimbo for 2 years. Look what so-and-so said about Jimbo. Look at what they did to Jimbo. Never, and while that might be true, she's not willing to see what Jimbo's side of the battle did to the other side. That's where I doubt that the clips are actually clipped to show bad behaviors as opposed to clipping to show the truth. So at that point, then when you watch the clip, I go and find the live stream where the clip came from. And Traders and Nicolina both were really good about me saying, is this video privated? Can I have the link to it? And then getting that link to be able to actually watch to get full context. And in my opinion, Connie does not clip to show bad behaviors like she preaches. Connie clips to prove that her side is right, meaning she's too emotionally invested to actually be able to clip to show any type of bad behavior, which to me makes her not a credible person anymore. She's too invested in this, and that's my opinion. And I'll say it again, it goes back to, I'm not invested in the battle back and forth. I wasn't around. I wasn't a part of any of the communities. I've come to know Traders today, who she is today, which has nothing to do with who she was 6 months ago, for the simple fact she's owned it. She's never denied it. She's apologized for it. And she said over and over, I just want to have fun. I don't want to do that shit anymore. And now here's 3, 4 different examples since April or May, where people have done shit to her that the old her would have come out swinging and floored them. And she didn't. She didn't do that. She keeps it to the platform. She's trolling on the platform, and she's having fun. If you go back and look at the several of her last lives, yesterday was an emotional. Before that, she's been having a blast, and Connie just will not let it go. Here is Trader's channel link, if anybody wants to grab that. Yes, I agree. That's what I see when I went to watch her clips. Missing a huge chunk of context and only pushed her narrative. Absolutely. And what pisses me off about Connie is that she keeps saying she wants somebody unbiased to look. She said that over and over and over and over and over. But you know how many people that are unbiased have watched the clips and the streams from both sides and come to the same conclusion, which is that both sides have done fuck shit to one another, but only one side is standing up and saying, yes, I did this. Yes, I did that. I don't want to do that anymore. Offered apologies, asked for a truce, and then backed away and went a completely different direction. To me, that says everything. And where I care a lot about Traders today, I'll defend her today. I'll stand with her today. It has no bearing on 6 months ago or 3 months ago, because I didn't know her then. I did not know her then. So I shouldn't be held responsible or accountable for either of the sides back and forth back then. But you can't be unbiased. You have to agree with Connie. Otherwise, she'll go to that Easy Guys freaking chat and sit and watch them play this one video over and over and over of me threatening Bombshell a year ago without giving any context. When she sat and allowed that to happen, I knew then she was so committed to being right. It's no longer about telling the truth at all. She knew that was a very heated moment that I own. I've never denied it. Never said it didn't happen. I've owned it. I've admitted to it. I've stood up. I'm never gonna not say that wasn't me. That absolutely was me. However, she left out that for 10 months, there were people running all over the freaking internet talking mad shit about my son, my grief, saying that I didn't raise him, that I lied about how he died. I mean, just the most disgusting things. And we all have a breaking point. All of us do. And that was my breaking point. She sat in that chat and encouraged that guy to play that clip over and over. I knew then, in that moment, I knew Connie was so invested that anybody who doesn't agree with her gets thrown into the same side. So where Traders came to me and said, hey, I heard this. Can you tell me your side? And I gave her the clips. I gave her that same opportunity. Connie's not willing to do that. Connie sat on Queen Bee's panel, and she sat on Savage's panel. I've heard her all over the place. If they can't stop the fuck shit, if they just can't stop, we ghost them. Don't let them in your chat. Don't let them on your panel. Ghost them. But she can't do that. She's not willing to do that. She's going to follow them around with everything that they've ever done. They've already owned, but she's not willing to own hers. It doesn't seem very fair. I was unbiased. Had no connection to either side and agree with the findings you found. I think I read that already. Yeah, I did the same. And now you'll probably be the devil too. Who's doing fuck shit now? Yeah, well, when two women, whether you hate them or not, are on a panel having a very emotional moment about what this platform, specifically Connie, has put them through in the name of their grief, mocking, you'll hear it, accusing them of weaponizing. Listen, this doesn't even make sense. Accusing them of weaponizing their brother/son's grief against Connie. This is how far it's gotten. When you hear that, your gut will drop, because I thought there's no turning back for Connie. So it's not a matter of having peace anymore. It's a matter of preventing Connie from, smothering them further. Because how do you not feel smothered at that point? Like how do you not? They literally would come in chat randomly, maybe 1-2 times a month. So what are you ghosting? Right. Yeah. I agree with you. And how is Connie expecting or demanding that every other content creator, every other channel that you'll hear her say it, all the people that I had respect for, that I really liked and that I had respect for, I liked them until they didn't agree with me anymore. She says something like that. It's a video on my channel. Here, I'll get you the link. There's so many tells about Connie's lost in the sauce. So very lost in the sauce. I'll have to find it and make, I think I might have privated it because there's no winning with her. I mean, there's no point in having a conversation with somebody that's not willing to hear you, that only wants to be heard. I don't waste my time with people like that. Unlisted. Here you go. There's that one. And anybody got anything else? If not, I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna go to bed. I'm tired. Okay. Anything else? Oh, thank you, Nanya. I do you as well. Yeah, kindness is free, right? And it takes as long as it takes. Yeah. Well, I thank you all for popping in to just hear what this crazy little nobody had to say about all of that. Traders, I'm here for you. And it's a same thing. I'm a phone call away. You got my number. So I appreciate everybody for stopping in and hanging out. Absolutely, anytime. I mean, it's important that you know that you have people that support you, that care about you, and that know that what's happened and what is happening is wrong. And I'm not going to sit down in it while people are hurting. I don't agree with it and I don't like it. There you go. Nanya, Traders dropped a playlist for you. Got it. Thanks, Resolution. I just seen you in the chat. Probably been here the whole time. Hey, Joe Spring, Sister Kelly. Hello, Coco. All right, y'all. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate all of you. Remember, it takes as long as it takes. And like Nanya said, kindness didn't cost anybody anything. So have a great night, and I'll see you in a couple days. Take care.